Are you ready?
This is the D-Generation CliX podcast with your hosts,
Who is Ravage?
Ryan Ruckman,
Ravage.
Hand me that bottle cap.
Miles Kane,
Hand me that paperclip. Grab that twine. Gun wrapper.
Daniel Schwab,
Best friends.
Asgard to Mouth, and Pete.
'Cause I'm just me.
Welcome back to the D-Generation CliX podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me are Miles, Dan, and Pete. Miles, what's up with you?
I'm on hold with unemployment still. So, I'm doing pretty good, though, besides that.
That's good. Thanks for the update. Dan, give me a positive spin on the week so far.
I placed second on clicks on Sunday, so that's positivity for you.
Hey, there you go. Who beat you? Who came in first?
We can talk about that later.
All right. And Pete, I feel like I haven't seen you that much as usual the last few weeks. What's going on with you?
Really busy few weeks. Bunch of stuff with work. I actually just came back from a conference in Boston, and really all I accomplished at the conference is I probably ate my body weight in oysters, so I might be dying of mercury poisoning right now. But on a positive note, it's the way I would have chose to go out. So
That's fair. And joining us for the third time is the Silver Savior, our special guest,
Now, Aaron.
Aaron Morgan. Aaron, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. It's been a wild few days.
I'm sure we'll get into some of that pretty soon here. We had our annual Halloween party on Saturday, which was a lot of fun. And then Sunday we did the Deadpool Weapon X Chase Booster, which I won that, as we just talked about. The booster had the Deadpool Wolverine Chase and then Weasel and Timebreaker Pog, so that was really cool. I walked away with the Weasel Pog, and then Dan got the Timebreaker Pog, and I immediately bought the Timebreaker Pog off of him. So ended up with both those. So very fun weekend. Dan, did you want to talk about your team at all with that?
No, because we can talk about it. We have a question directly related to that, so I'll talk about that then.
Okay. In news, the big maps are gone in Modern, but still playable in Silver. We'll touch on Silver maps later this episode, but besides the maps that released with the current Modern sets, the only rock maps that are also legal in Modern are the Extinct Volcano, Icy Lake, Brock and Roll, and Major Brock's Bunker. And then hopefully the States map this year will be Modern legal and not removed from the playlist at any point in its run. So that'll be added hopefully in a month or two. And
are we taking odds on that? Like percentage chances?
Probably should actually.
Yeah. All right. We can post that as like a listener poll.
Please don't. Please don't.
And then we're also starting to get the Scott Porter's Black Panther unboxings. We're recording on a Tuesday, so we've only seen 2 videos drop so far. Looks like a pretty neat addition to the current Modern sets. It releases on October 30th with no pre-releases set due to shipping issues. So we have a few questions about that too, so we'll answer those later. But we did finally get the Silver Age update that we've been asking for, and there were a couple of unexpected things in there that I don't think people were expecting. So Pete, do you want to start with the changes to one-man armies?
I do. So the Modern one-man army is now a part of Silver. For official events, a team must have either no more than 200 points of Modern Age legal game elements on the main force, or have no more than 1 game element legal in Modern Age on their main force. As options for high point characters expands, we're hoping to see players experiment with tentpoles on one-man army builds, removing the point cap for teams that just want to use one big character should lead to new and exciting team builds. So some of the pieces that obviously spring to mind, that new Dark Side, I've already been building teams with right after this announcement happened. So I think he's amazing. The new Loki, I know we have a Loki fan on the podcast, and I'll let him cover the piece. but from the new Avengers Iconic set. And then really kind of, I think we were talking anything essentially 200 points or higher. So I know Moon Knight and Black Adam kind of make that, but I don't think they're going to make modern like or silver like meta play, but that's just my opinion. What do you guys think?
I'm going with
Yeah.
Venom God of Symbiotes. That piece, it was really cool, but at 300 points, it just needed a little bit extra. So I think that's my number one piece for trying that out in silver.
Yeah, I'm going for a fund because I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna be able to play in the states yet. It's still deciding, but it looks like I might be going to Washington's. I'll be judging Oregon's, but I figure this is the perfect opportunity for me to play 200 point Aquanix or 300 point Aquanix. That's gonna be almost just 10 pull Aquanix and 100 points of silver. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, like Pete said, Silver Age Loki is going to be a lot of fun. I've already got one really good build with it. Full map reach off 1 TK sounds really good for a thing I don't have to roll dice for.
Yeah, that
So,
sounds
mean,
pretty
there's that.
dangerous.
I feel like the first 5 points to silver is the liar ring, or am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. I have 10 range now, and I see you across this little bitty map.
Now, do you throw
Yeah.
anything else on him for 5 more points?
Absolutely, I can open that build really fast. Hold on. Teams. I was
I was
smart
gonna
to
say the
have units
precision.
open.
Well, no, you don't even have to. You just hit. So I don't. The precision strike ring doesn't do anything for you. I don't know what else you would use for that.
Nightbringer, 0.
Actually, from the,
Yeah.
I've got I was thinking of Nightbringer, yeah, for the mobile stealth. But the build right now is Loki, Liar, Nightbringer, Mr. Oz, Scott Porter with the Indigo ring, and Skinny Steve Rogers.
Skinny Steve. That's cool.
That sounds pretty solid. Are you going to be able to play in any states?
Mhm. I am playing in at least 3. I'm looking at Georgia, Kentucky, and North Carolina, as long as everything pans out up there.
Okay. Dan,
And
do you
then
have
I'll be
a...
judging for. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You're
I'll
judging
be
where?
judging Missouri and Tennessee.
Oh, okay. So you're going to be involved in 5 different states.
Yeehaw.
Dan, do you have any one-man armies you're looking at?
I'd probably fall in the same ballpark of like Loki or the Goddess Symbiotes. Like those two are ridiculously fun. Yeah, although I'm more partial to Loki because I saw that and I was like, oh, 10 range mind control that just I don't have to do anything with. That seems fun.
Well, yeah, there's a couple of pieces like that that just you can't really play them in modern. So the cool thing about being able to take those into silver and actually back them up with some support is pretty cool. It's a really good addition, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Miles, do you want to go into the sideline changes?
Yes. So the sideline, that was an issue at the Rock Cup. People were using the sideline as a way to cheat a full modern team on for silver. And so with this change, they're now going to be having, you can only have 4 game elements that are modern. So that way you can't just have all modern game elements for you to do your swap into. I like this cap. I think it's really nice. There's 8 slots. So if half your build has to be modern, I feel like it's a perfect way to even it out with your sideline having to be half modern as well.
Which, with all the sideline active stuff that we're starting to see, that's really good too, I think.
Yeah.
Just not being able to throw 8 modern sideline active pieces and buffing the whole lineup.
Well, and one of the fun things about silver, and I know I was really intimidated by the format and have gotten over it pretty quickly by just participating in it, is that I just want it to be different than what's in modern. So I don't mind part of it being modern, but I don't want to see a full modern sideline. Like that's just not what that whole setup of that version of HeroClix is to me.
Now, Aaron, was that something that was kind of thought about before the first initial? When did everything go live? Was it right before Rock Cup?
Yeah, last year I think we had about 2 months of the new format where it was 400 points.
Was the sideline even thought about as like a possible issue, or was that something that just came up during play?
It came up during play. In the initial run, I wasn't really worried about the sideline stuff just because at that point we didn't have the variety we do. A lot of it was already Silver Age. As Modern grew and they added new mechanics to the sideline, like obviously it shifted. And I had a local player show me the Avengers swap, and I've seen things like West did in Alabama, or no, West did it here actually, where he played the Hall of Armor's Iron Man with a Watcher.
Right.
And basically just shifted the low point one into a new full dial one. So I mean, it's been around, but for the most part, there was only a couple of people that actually really pushed to do that.
Okay. And then also one of the bigger changes too was the mission points turning into victory points. Do you want to go into detail about that one?
Yeah, this is the big one. So I wanted to free up the figures that were on the watch list or ban list with the mission point stuff, and really just needed to do away with the mission point mechanic, and that's what I wanted, was to let all those figures be played for what they could do without the mission points and enjoy it. Like, some of them are still good without collecting mission points. On the talks with WizKids, they brought up this idea of shifting it toward victory points, which is something they're pushing a lot heavier right now anyway, so it made sense. But, you know, silver players are going to silver player and break things on day one. So, basically, every time you score what would be a mission point, you get 10 points of victory points instead. Basically, you go until you can hit the mercy rule cap. So once you hit 500, the game's over. And an initial thought of this was, this makes them playable in a fun way, whereas like, hey, I'm running Loki, and I want to use 45 points of that Silver Age build to put on, what's his name? Miles, do you remember his name?
Which one?
The mind control mission point guy?
Oh, Maxwell Lord.
Maxwell Lord, yeah. So it's like, hey, did I mind control you? I get a victory point. Or 10 victory points. Did you hit somebody or KO something? I get extra points. And it's like a flavor thing. It wasn't meant to just be the end all again, which is where everybody went with it.
So obviously, mission points are pretty much gone because I think the last one that we got was in the Spider-Man set, and that just rotated out. Yeah. So it looks like they're moving more towards like victory points in silver. If this doesn't work, do you think that they'll just get rid of mission points altogether then and just have them be gone?
So I've already been talking to WizKids, and we're watching one particular team that can definitely be a problem.
We lost.
And there's already... Oh, am I there?
Yeah, you're good.
No, we got you.
Yeah, you're good.
Sorry. So basically what happened is there is a crazy build that can shut you out and score a bunch of points while it's doing it. So we're compiling data right now to reassess that build with WizKids. If we can't fix it to where you're not doing a shutout game basically and playing with yourself, which is what we were trying to avoid with mission points in the first place, then yeah, something can be addressed. I don't know that we walk away from victory points, but we do definitely have a few things to address. So
it's on the radar at least.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, it's on the radar, and I do need to speak on the mission point Peacemaker figure. His first trait does not work because you're not scoring mission points, you're just scoring victory points now. So I actually think there's a few figures that may have that issue. I need to go back through them and talk with WizKids about them. And I'll probably do a write-up after this podcast to discuss all that stuff, so it's all very clear to everybody. But basically there's no way to like really bring him in anymore.
Just for research purposes, can you send me that build? That might be the problem. I just want to review it, not play it.
I'm not worried about you, Pete.
Oh yes,
man.
yes.
Man. Got fired right there. There you go.
Seeing.
So if there are other pieces similar to Peacemaker like that, where it specifically references mission points?
Potentially, I was after that got dropped. I started going through them all again to see. There's one or two that I need to look into to make sure that I'm on the same page with that thought process. Because my brain just went, all right, so now you're scoring points instead of mission points, so you just need to keep track of the equivalent to the points. That's how I was thinking Peacemaker worked, and I got told to be quiet about it. So,
All right.
we'll leave him where he is. But yeah, I'm gonna do a deep dive and kind of bring up anything that may be iffy, so we can get clarity on it, and then I'll do a big post.
All right, yeah, we'll repost that for sure once you get that live. And then, Dan, do you want to go into the ban list changes?
Yeah, so they're adding a new classification alongside the temporary ban list and the ban list. So this is a restricted list, and it will contain powerful game elements that are not quite oppressive enough to warrant a ban, but nonetheless are concerning to the format. Forces may not include more than one of the game elements on the restricted list, and may only include a single copy of that element. The initial restricted list will include 5 game elements, but can be may be expanded later. So the restricted list includes the notorious Necron, the Spider-Man Beyond Amazing Carnage Silver Surfer, House of X Maggot, and then both Scott Porters. So with the with the format adjustments explained on the ban list, so all changes are effective immediately. The bench. So what is going on the bench is Prime Spider-Man, all of the MOE swap chases, the Ultra Chase Mephisto, Chthon from Wheels of Vengeance, all of the stop signs, and then the nifty traffic barrel. What is coming off the bench is the grand prizes.
Hey,
Apoc and Genesis.
Dan, you're killing like everything I got lined up here.
Well,
we'll go into detail with that. Yep. Let's on the restricted list though. Is that something that's going? You said there's like only 5 pieces, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that something that's going to be very carefully added to?
Yes, there were more figures in the initial proposal when they talked to me about the restricted list. Some of the ones people are already complaining about, and some of the ones that were like, hey, these would be fine if you could only do one of in general. So we'll see if those make it onto the list. I think one might after the team build mentioned earlier. But yeah, this is a new toy that I get to think about during the coming year and be like, hey, like that's still a good piece, but let's limit it really hard. And that way people can play their things and not chase me through the village with pitchforks.
So why didn't Iraq Knight make the list? That's,
Who?
Iraq Knight. That's
So to be fair, while a lot of the stuff on our list was very heavily played, and Iraq Knight did see a massive uptick right at Worlds, Iraq Knight had kind of fallen to the wayside.
he did come in second in Nationals. So
He did, but it was like one of the only 2 there.
Miles, are you trying to get him banned? What are you doing right now?
No, I just had to do a dig at Redmond.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
I have a question.
I mean, even some of my teammates really like Iraq Knight, and I get it. But he just wasn't an oppressive force. He's very good, but he's not.
I'm just trying to bring balance.
Force.
Yeah. No, yeah, because Mad Jim got banned, so it's salty.
Mad Jim deserved to be banned, and everybody knows it. If you are mad that Mad Jim can't be played, you don't understand why he's there.
Well, if I was Jim, I'd be mad for sure. So
yeah, for sure.
Are we gonna start injustice for Jim?
No, he's gonna. You can forget about him. He's gone. Where is he from?
Oh, he's from the what's the market? Oh, I can't think of the name of it. Anyways, moving on.
That's
I have one legit question though. So are both porters that you can play in both, or you can only play one? Just so people know. And mostly by people, I mean me. Yes.
Yeah, you can only play one, and it's one of any of those 5 figures. Period. If you
so
play
the restricted
Maggot,
list is like a prime.
Porter, basically, with a little bit more caveat to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great addition.
really interesting because you're keeping elements around, but you're very much like you have a really tight chain on it. Like it's like okay, you get one, and that's all you get. So pick your
I
pick your
mean,
one that you want to use.
right. It's like, hey, these are some of the really, really impressive things. Obviously, a lot of these characters make their own like reason why they deserve to be on this list. Whether it was I attempted to change a couple of them just to tone them down some and still let them be played, or it was like, hey, there's not a way to really fix it without just like blackhearting it. I guess would be the best example.
Yeah, that's a
And
perfect
I didn't
example.
want to do that. Yeah, so I didn't want to do that with some of these figures. Definitely not the porters. Porter is a big part of HeroClix for Huntingtons and the Rock stuff. I definitely don't want to like crush his figures in any kind of way. I had a very lighthearted errata for White Shirt Porter. If they had let me push it, I think it would have been okay and people would have understood it. But I think this is definitely a better direction to go with those. I mean, Maggot is Maggot. He's really good. He's really gross in multiples. All the bystander drop and pick up and all that free action stuff. I mean, Beetlejuice probably cripple him, to be honest, but it's a good
Oh,
way
Beetlejuice
to
cripples
limit it.
everything.
Yeah, I know, but as far as Maggot goes, like I did try to just like find a way to make him playable originally, and I feel like this is a safe compromise. You get to play him. You can put him on an animal build, but you're not running a 4 squad of maggots to do all this shenanigan stuff. Same for Carnage Surfer, same for Necron. Like, they're good on their own, but some of the other figures on this list don't need to interact with the other ones because they do things that weren't intended. So this stops a lot of that.
So obviously the 700 emails that I personally sent about Madam Web, nobody read. Great.
While Madam Web is very annoying, there are other things that just go, I'm going to ignore the fact that you have that trait and just delete you. So I feel like she has a way to get around. I'm sorry you need therapy over her, though.
A lot of therapy.
She's
A
hurt
lot
Pete
of
many
therapy.
times.
Oh man,
Too
so
many
many
times
times.
apparently.
Yeah, so that's the restricted list. I think that's a great addition. It really kind of helps keep some balance with keeping a couple pieces in. Let's go into the actual benching of things, though, for Silver.
Nothing wrong with silver.
Nothing wrong with silver at all.
So going on to the bench is the Prime Spider-Man. What's the main reason for him moving over there?
Or playability. He's insanely good for what he does. He definitely had a lot of time in the modern limelight. This is just one of those, like, you should have expected it all the way up until the announcement got dropped. I mean, we'll get to it here in a minute, but there's some things that definitely paired with him would have made him a force to be reckoned with in Silver Age, and we just need a break for him.
So
Be back soon.
Okay, so yeah, I was going to ask is that we should see him because him on a Spider-Man family team, I think, really helps Spider-Man family rise up. So I would like to eventually see him back on the list of playable pieces, at least.
Yeah, unless something else comes out that just makes him insane beyond what he does, I have no issue bringing him back in a year. But like I said, it's all about what melds with him and how broken he can be, and I have to watch that. So.
Right. Then we also had the MOE swap chases. I think this was a pretty good call. These guys have kind of been on a majority of competitive teams since they were released, and this was pretty much just an easy add to all silver teams post-rotation. I think the only thing I would have liked to see is just if they were playable with their swap mechanic gone, or you had to play the team-up card version or something like that. Was any of that kind of shopped around at all or an option, or was it just they're gone?
I will say that they were very hard to get, so we decided not to let them be played.
Okay. Is this
lighthearted joke? No, it was talked about. I brought it up, but again, it's a team-up card that was in a legacy pack on top of a brick. In reality, like, while they're easy to find, there's not a lot of them out there. Oh, good.
Yeah, you're good.
Anyway, But yeah, so that's what I'm kind of looking at is they definitely were everywhere in the meta since they got released. Mephisto all the way down. Theme team or not, as I have a buddy who played them actually with the team ups. So I mean, I know what they do as the team up. They're still gross with team ups. Thor's team up is the strongest one of the whole lot.
Right.
So it's they need to break. They'll eventually come back in. I know I'm getting fussed at for not letting them be played, but it's the right call. You're getting a bunch of new stuff back off the bench. There's going to be ways to enjoy them once they come back.
Now, would you say that BDSM Thor with the team up is the best Thor that WizKids ever made? Just asking for another member of the podcast.
If we're talking about Thor Odinson proper, no.
All right.
But there are a couple of Thors that I've actually enjoyed playing over the years that I think do him justice, or her, depending on which one you're playing. So.
Now, Mephisto, was that considered at all to maybe leave off, or with the other figures going off, or was he just always seen as part of the group and he was going to?
He was always seen as part of the group.
And then a really big one is the Wheels of Vengeance Cathan. So I think he more or less just kind of creates more problem in silver, right?
Yeah. So it was either we dump some more on Blackheart, or we let Cathan sit out for a year, and the feelings all collectively were, let's just use Cathan and let him take a break. So that's really what it came down to. Blackheart super rare getting to self-activate and make Hellfire guards and do all his shenanigans on his terms isn't good. Without Cathan, he's a little bit more manageable. He can't just run around and do what he wants. So that kind of balances him back out. And I don't want to think about Cathan and Silver Age just yet on his own.
What about, you mean like as a 300 point piece?
Yeah. 300 point. He's the one I think can fight Darkseid, like in the long run.
Yeah, so
I was both got to kill each other twice.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it was thought about that he had to actually be on the main force to use all of that stuff, and he just couldn't be sidelined if that was a possible option, or was it just, again, just ban him and not make it complicated?
Yeah, let's just ban him and not make it complicated, because even with the initial article about the MOEs being gone, the first thing people went to was, well, I can play the team ups, right? No, like, so leaving it open to where Cathan is not sidelined but can be main force gets tricky, and it's just easier just like, all right, go sit in the corner, come back in a year, we'll see you then.
And as far as the rules go for the MOE swaps, like you have to have them just on your build anyway, and then you would change into the team up card first, or like at the beginning of the game, right?
Yeah, when you're revealing forces. Yeah, when you're revealing force, you swap the cards.
So realistically, you couldn't just make them. You'd have to change the rules as far as that goes to make them playable.
Right, which is not a thing I can do. So.
What about this? What about the stop signs? I think it was a great call. Really cool to still play all the rings and get the other constructs and their utilities. But the most overplayed one, that stop sign is gone. How did that play out? Were there other options?
So when I started talking about the rings, because that's where I started actually was, well, I mean, the most played ring in all of HeroClix right now is the Sinestro Core ring. That discussion started before we found out what is coming next year.
Oh, okay.
So knowing that is coming, leaving the rings in play in silver kind of makes sense, especially with a bunch of new fun toys to play with. The stop sign was definitely the most played construct of all of them, and it caused the most issues. And it's free. Obviously, there are still things in silver that do the same thing, but you have to pay for them. Both of them, all three of them now, you have to pay more than just 5 points to use, or like a ring or whatever. So,
right.
Those are on the map points, and it's a little bit more justified to be like, yeah, you can do the things if you do this, instead of just being like, here's a free thing that I'll just Go out whenever I want.
Yeah, I'm glad that those are gone. They caused a lot of problems just being able to barrier as well.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
They're
know a lot of
necessary
the
evil because we have so many things that
well,
have improved movement, destroy blocking. That
right.
front,
No,
for example.
we're getting to that in a second, actually. But
Yeah.
with the Orange Proteus, with the thing we're about to talk about next, there are ways to slow those kind of characters down, and that's more than likely why I didn't bench somebody. But we'll get there when it matters.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. No, there's a reason for stuff. I'm
So-
just trying to be the sky's falling kind of guy today.
That's what we
I
need is
appreciate
another
it.
one of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm just
Yeah,
I'm their outlet right now. That's not my
400
personal point. I'm
DMs
just their
and
outlet.
Playing
comments.
both sides.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Last thing on the list was the traffic barrel. So how do we go about changing this
No.
one? No? What did I miss?
That's not correct. It's the nifty traffic barrel.
Ah, the nifty
Exactly.
version. The one that you have to pay 5 points
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
So how do we go about changing this?
Nifty being able to be in effect when carried by characters is really problematic. Especially depending on what the character was that was carrying it. It played out just the same as the stop signs and being able to block people out. Yes, there is stuff like Mern that can just make it to where I can shoot through the map now. But other figures still need the ability to get in and fight you, and that those two items alone removed that from play. And I really personally thought that was a bad way to go. They've been preaching we want HeroClix games to be more interactive, more play, and then we had two items that basically stopped that.
Okay.
So that is my logic on removing the nifty and the stop signs. We can talk about the other barrel now if you want, since you brought it up.
Yeah, just go
So
ahead.
clearly somebody did read my 700 emails because right after Madam Web was the stop signs and the nifty traffic barrel. So I applaud you, Aaron. I think it's a fantastic decision. If you were running for public office, I would vote for you 3 times at this point. Thank you.
I will absolutely enjoy the fact that I got to watch you guys push the nifty traffic barrel as hard as you could, and I was like, "Yes, do my work for me, do it."
It picked up traction.
It definitely did. I think.
Do you want to tell us how we
so
can't play it though?
Oh, say what?
What do you want to say, Miles?
Oh, I said it made what was it, top 4 of the finals of Worlds. So yeah, we definitely helped the case.
For sure.
Yeah, the normal traffic barrel though, yeah, is that's been something that I've been having conversations with people and trying to explain to them that's a different game element, so it is legal.
It is very legal, but the only way to access it is to play Plastic Man, which is awesome. He is a very underrated figure. Again, you have to spend more than
Absolutely.
5 points to gain access to it, but he can drop the regular traffic barrel on the map and get you the bonus effect that you want. He's good on non-theme, he's good on Justice League, he's just a good, fun figure all around, and you get access to all the other versions of the objects too, so.
And it can't be carried. That's huge.
Yeah, that's the big one, is you gotta be careful where you drop it, so.
Yeah, I think that's a cool way to still make it a little playable, because Plastic Man is a pretty neat figure. He just never got a chance to really get played. I think it's more of his keywords, right? What is he, like police and Justice League? Is he detective?
Well, he is detective.
He
No,
is
it's
detective. Okay.
Yeah, he's detective. But the change to Quake is what made him unplayable because he was about to be played, and then Quake was changed.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Do you guys want to add anything to the things going?
Keywords. No, he has a lot more keywords. Jesus.
Oh, does he?
All-Star Squadron, Freedom Fighters, Justice League, Terrifics, Detective, and Police.
There's a lot of bad ones there.
Hey, I would. Who all are the Terrifics? Oh, just 2 of them. Got it. So yeah, I mean, do your thing, whatever. But Detective in silver is about to get real strong, so it'd be fun to see him show up in a couple of places anyway.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I expected World's Finest to be on that list too. There's a couple of ones that I'm still getting surprised on, but that'll keep Detective strong because I think he's a big part of Detectives.
Yes. So.
All right, coming off the bench are both Grand Prize Apocalypse and Grand Prize Genesis. These ones I was kind of surprised to see coming off the temporary list. Similar to the Masters of Evil swap, this combo will possibly be, I think, the go-to build, especially with multiple APOCs. Is that by chance the figure that is being looked at as a possible addition to the restricted list?
Oh, to the restricted? He was on mine. They were both on my initial pitch when I got told about the restricted list. For the reason I've seen the 5 APOC build do well. I think one of them, maybe not restricted, but I probably would have liked to see them be like Highlander. Like, you can literally only play one of each of them, and then that would have been fine.
Yeah. I think the multiple APOCs is going to be a problem. That's, I think, one of my biggest things coming into this.
Well, so yes and no if you're not properly built for them. Again, if you see them, don't base them. You shoot them in the face.
Right.
Because that trait does not work on range, and it's not protected pulse wave. So there's ways around that.
What about the XDPS Dark Phoenix? Why was she benched before anybody else was in the first take of all this, as far as Colossals go in retail?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Dark Phoenix. I don't really know that I need to explain why she was there. Before we went to the 400-point format, she was everywhere for silver. She's one of the best retaliators in the game because she doesn't only have to retaliate. She can actually move an attack on her own. There are ways to buff her to make that 4 damage hit. So extra healing happens faster. Like, Lord, I can play her and Scott Crampton together, 2 of them, and it's like, all right, I'm always doing 4 damage.
Yeah.
I'm always healing twice. So, she needed a break. There are some things, and I've even seen the Dark Side build where somebody was like, I can run 2 Dark Phoenixes in Dark Side. And I was like, I need you to remember that he kills anything with the same name. And that's all you have to do is possibly mind control Dark Side and go, get out. And they're both dead. So,
I think Pete was looking at that build, right, Pete?
Oh, 100%. Once I had 310 points of my Dark Side build, I was just figuring out the other 90. There still is a version where there's Dark Phoenixes and other nonsense for that.
Agreed. Like, and that's the fun part of having her back. She doesn't have to be 5 deep. One of her in the right build is perfect. So it's all about how you handle your support for your big figures or working her back into your standard 400-point builds across the board. And she doesn't reduce pin, so I mean you can literally just like go zap her and she goes away if you get to her first.
Yeah, which in
just
small
be
maps,
mindful. It's a lot more possible. But remember, there's big maps in silver still, and there's a couple that can help hide those colossals. So don't think you can always get to them if you get first player.
And then we already talked about Maggot. Definitely glad to see him. Was there a chance if that restricted list didn't happen that he would not have made it back to playable?
Yeah, I was with the whole, like, I either want to fix him or find a way to make him limited. It needed to happen. So if they had pushed back on either of those all the way, I'd have been like, okay, he can just stay on the bench until we figure it out together how to bring him back.
Okay. He's a cool character. I'm actually glad he's back. I know a lot of people are looking forward to playing him on Animals.
Yeah, and I will say, like, I'm happy that that character got made. That's a character I never thought I'd actually get to see. I remember him in the 90s as a comic book character. Hell, yes. I remember him on the Generation X show, the one-off show they had. He was on that, too. So
the one that was on TV?
Yeah.
Really? I did not realize that he was on it.
They didn't mention his name, but he definitely appears.
I watched that movie, or that like made for. It was the one that was supposed to be the pilot for the show, right?
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look at that then. I watched that many times. We recorded that on a VHS tape.
Yeah, I actually watched that
It's
not too
good
long
stuff.
ago, and I do not remember Maggot in it at all. That is insane.
I'll find it for you
I
and
have
I'll
to watch
post
it
it
again.
in my little thing.
No, I'm very interested. The one that I know makes Pete happy is the Carrion Iron Man. He dominated the modern when he was in it, so it'll be kind of interesting, I think, to see where he falls in the upcoming events.
Yeah, it'll be real rough when you like don't get stat bumps all of a sudden, or people can take out your objects before you get to pick them up.
Yeah, there's a
So
lot
I'm excited
of
to see where
Titania
he
is a
really
thing.
Say what?
Titania is a thing. So
Yeah, Titania is definitely a thing. It can definitely be played in silver. It'd be really fun. It'd be like, you don't even get powers now. Enjoy that.
He's obviously still really good, but yeah, the stuff that's come out since he has gone is just very, very different than when he was dominating everything.
Yep.
And then
He's honestly probably, I always say my favorite Hero Clicks piece because I have like 35 of them. He's one of my top 10 of all time. He just so good, just consistently. And if somebody counter builds him, then you should counter build him if he's gonna come back into even the silver meta. He's one of those 50-point pieces that you absolutely have to account for. So I think I'm happy he's back. I'm super happy he's back.
I think it's one of your top
well, and
played
after
pieces.
the episode aired for season 2, I wish they would have, since they're giving out new keywords, I wish they would have gave them the vehicle keyword. So that was a missed opportunity. I don't know if you guys
Just wanna
watched
talk
season
about
2 of the
that.
What If.
I keep forgetting to watch it actually.
Yeah. Yeah, What If season 2 is fun. There were in the initial thing for Silver Age, there were a few figures that I wanted to add keywords to that I couldn't. Like Detective on the Dune Buggy. And that would have been just for the old school Hanna-Barbera fans.
Next, we have the Wonder Woman 80 Sky Tyrant. So this was my most exciting piece. This guy saw a lot of play in our house, so very happy to see him back. I do think that this is a piece that the barrel and stop sign kind of helped limit his strength. So with both those gone, he seems even more strong. But this guy and the next guy are the two reasons I think I'm looking at Monster at silver right now. Is there any? What was the word behind Sky Tyrant?
So Sky Tyrant is really like there are ways to just cripple him out of the gate. Sure, if Sky Tyrant gets to go first, there is definitely some rough spots in your game. But if he doesn't, and you've got the reach, he just doesn't ever get to go off. Like the Bastion tech that runs around can basically cross an entire big map and just take him out. Or let's talk about Darkseid again. Darkseid can just throw free barrier next to him and go, well, you're past your cool click. And then he's just a normal attacker. So I feel like we have enough answers to mitigate him. And again, there are the other figures like the Barrel and the Proteus that can just be like, well, it's cool that you can fly, but you still have to stop at this wall now.
Yeah, I think that'll kind of see. They'll push the Proteus and the Plastic Man.
Yep.
And then Venom Magneto. So this guy, for 35 points, was just awesome support, awesome sculpts. I think he'll be on, obviously, a ton of teams now again, but only 2 clicks, so he still dies, I think, even faster than he used to. There's just so much stuff that can deal a damage to him real easily.
Yep. That and his arch nemesis is only seeing an uptick in silver, so I look forward to the Venom Magneto versus Mr. Oz matchups.
Despero doesn't like him too much either. Or, well, he does like him, I guess.
No.
Despero really loves him, but maybe he's bad.
Could be.
And then the last one is the Disney Plus Miss Minutes. So originally she was only banned because of mission points, right?
Yes.
Is she most
she
likely
is
staying
pretty-
intact?
I mean, she still does what she does now for victory points, but I had some ideas originally when she got put on the ban list back in the day. she's fun. There's definitely some shenanigans you can probably pull off with her right now, but she's free. She's gonna go on my sideline just because I can have her there. So enjoy it.
Well, Disney Plus didn't even get a lot of time in Modern, and then she got banned immediately in Silver, so she really didn't get a chance to see much play at all. So I do hope to see her on some teams because she's a very fun piece.
Yeah, I'll probably look at seeing if I can squeeze her on a Bastion build just because of the prob, and she's really hard to get rid of.
Yeah. Now, are Sicarian Iron Man, Sky Tyrant, and Venom Magneto relatively safe from future benching or bans? Or what would it take to kind of seal their fate again?
We're looking at somebody finds a way to crack Sky Tyrant to the point of like, hey, that's not healthy. Let's take him again. But so the idea with anything that comes off any of these lists going forward is that can be put back on the list relatively quickly. No more waiting a whole year to adjust. And also, I will push for changes if that's the better option than putting them back on the list. So,
okay,
they're being watched. They're free for now. We'll see how it pans out. We're gonna know really soon how strong everybody is. Some states.
It still seems pretty balanced, all the stuff that's entering Silver, though.
Yeah.
Added to the ban list are both the witches now, which is Agatha and the Scarlet Witch. The Darkhold still is legal, though. And then All Black, yes. The Necro Sword, that is gone. And Mad Jim has also been added to the ban list. So all these pieces have extremely strong effects. Can we probably expect them to stay on the permanent ban list at this point?
I am always in the mindset of trying to fix things to get them played again. But for now, the witches definitely have to sit on the sideline. Maybe something comes out that it's just like, nope, we need the witches back. Let's let them loose. And then that's when they let me address them and errata them, maybe. I didn't. Go ahead.
Did you say something, Miles?
No.
Okay.
No. I must have picked up Aaron's mic somehow.
Out of those 4 pieces, though, were any of them considered to be on the restricted list instead of the ban list?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, witches are just too strong as is.
Then the
Mad Jim is there for obvious reasons, and then All Black. I got more messages about All Black coming off the bench list than I did about everything that happened in the last 2 days.
So
it'd be so fun to see the All Black on the restricted list, so that they have to pick the Necro Sword over those figures. That'd be perfect.
I think that's fun.
Yep. So.
Yes, only a couple more were added to the ban list, but then the current watch list, the first one going on to that one is the Orange Proteus, and that's mainly just for his free terrain generation and the shutting off improved movement, or both?
Both.
And then the green one, similar to the orange that we just talked about, he's able to generate a lot of free terrain. Is that pretty much the same thing, just the free terrain?
Yep.
And then the 2 mission point pieces is the Spider-Man Kingpin and the Peter the Hunter Legacy card. Is that just the way that they score mission points, or what makes them so strong?
Yeah, that's really good. That's the way they score them.
Just too easy?
Yeah.
Now,
which probably means there's another one I need to add on here. Or no, probably to the ban list, honestly, because he makes it easier than these 2 do. But we're working toward addressing that now.
Do you want to share that, or do you want to wait until it's announced?
I would rather wait till it's announced, because I don't need a billion people going, I can play that, because I have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Peacemaker one surprised me, though, the dancing one. Why is he making the watch list?
His move thing can be problematic. It's already hard for certain players to understand, so it kind of makes sense to have him there. Yeah, Wendigo's rough with that guy.
Oh yeah, okay. And then Mern also made the list. Can we just fix him in all the formats?
He is a modern figure that is above my pay rate, sir.
Same
While
thing.
he is in Silver Age, I have to, yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. Anything else on him?
I mean, it's in general for anything modern. If it's a mainly modern figure, it's probably going to get watch listed or benched depending on how broken it is in the current modern state. Because either they're going to let me fix it or they're not. So I have to be ahead of the curve on these figures and any of the problems they can bring to my format. So when they enter my format, I can already say I've addressed it ahead of time.
Okay. And then so that's probably a similar answer then with the trick arrows. Same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. With all the different iterations and card swaps you can do, it's just something to watch.
And then next phase, the Prime Elsa Bloodstone. She's mainly just because she can equip Giants and Colossals, and you have a bigger pool to pick from in Silver.
Correct. She's Mad Gem Light.
And then what about the Beholder? Because that would be a piece I think you can play at a higher one-man army level, right?
Yes, but I don't think that you would in Silver. And I've seen people get upset about watch listing something that's not even out. The moment they showed it at Worlds during the fan appreciation night, I looked to the WizKids employee and said, "Why do you hate me?" So in Silver, there are ways to manipulate D20s. Quite a few, actually. You do those, and then you play like Spiderling or some other figures that just go, I can make you critical hit whenever we want. And so then it becomes a game of, I need to be able to survive and re-roll my D20 in hopes that I roll a 19 or 20. If I roll that and you're within range, I guarantee you're dead and you're removed from the game immediately. It's not I have to wait for you to roll out. If I crit hit you, you're KO'd. And in Silver Age, that is extremely doable.
Okay.
So I am way ahead of the curve on this one. And that's all that really came down to.
And I think he's scheduled to come out before States,
Soon.
isn't he? Yeah, I think he's scheduled for October.
Yeah. Yep. So if he drops this month like he's supposed to, then people could run into him, and then my thought process could be very valid very quickly. So.
And then also we do have maps. So the legal map list is something that will also be rotating every year, right?
Yeah, I'll refresh it as needed. Yes, there are a couple that got put on there this year. I already got some feedback on. It's fine. We have things like Mern. That
Water
helps with those
Research Lab.
That one is a real availability thing. No joke. It's like I don't
Is it?
even
I
have
was
that
able to
map.
find both of them for $50 to eat together. Both for $50.
Yeah, because nobody even
Relatively.
played it. The guy that had
It's
it
true,
probably
yeah.
had it for 3 years.
I
all the
actually had a
Aqua
guy in
Team fans are the
Washington
ones
have
that
it at
know.
one of his local shops, and he's like, "Hey, my shop has both these maps. You want to send me the money? I can buy them for you." And I'm like, "Perfect, yeah, I'll take them."
I know, but there's only
No,
so
I know
many
it's an
meatball
availability
fans in
issue.
the
Yeah,
world.
those are hard to come by.
No. You keep killing my joke, Miles. I swear to God. Anyway, you Aqua Team Hunger fan.
Yes.
But no, like I get it. There are people that wanted to play it. A friend of me and Miles was already like play testing in his head on it, and I was like, "You're not playing a build that needs that map. What are you doing?" So, but yeah, the map list will evolve. Oh, go ahead.
And I was gonna say, is there any chance that Gamer Mats just ends up selling these maps at some point, just to open it up a little bit more, or make the availability issue not an issue?
I can ask about that, but let me hop over there real quick to see which ones are actually still on there, because I actually think people are forgetting about the fact that you can go to Gamer Mats.
It's not updated very frequently.
No, they have those with
Yeah,
the 5 maps that you connect.
Yeah,
They have
but
those
you
Yeah,
buy them
the World War
separately.
II maps.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. On page 2. Sewage treatment plant is there, which is close enough to the Aquatine map. I don't see the actual one Miles wants, but that's okay. There's a good chunk
No,
of
it's not
these
on
on
there.
here that. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, of these, you have to go to page 3 before you hit maps that aren't legal. And that's like the last chunk of them, even.
Okay.
So, all in all, like, there's still ways to get some of the big neoprene maps. Maybe the ones you missed. Maybe ones you just liked from back then. I need to reorder an Ultimate Sacrifice for myself. My original one got messed up, and I loved that map. So,
I think it would make sense just to
it's
let them
just
sell more things.
agreed. I can talk to the powers that be to get that adjusted, hopefully, but I can't promise it. So,
Because even the underwater lab,
we'll
that
live on a
was the underwater lab. That was just like a monthly one that you could get if you were signed up for the VIG program.
Yeah.
So is there any chance that Ancient Hold ever comes back?
I think I might get like assassinated if I did that. I like that map. I was a fan of doors and the whole mechanic. It was just never
I mean,
properly
doors are
like
hard.
introduced.
Yeah, it's hard
They
to
really
understand
are. I'm
how
sorry
doors
that
work.
people don't understand. No,
They are
it was a
confusing.
mechanic that wasn't really like shown to people. It just appeared and then it was gone. I feel like we misstepped as a community and didn't actually like get enough of the knowledge out to help people understand those maps. Ancient Hold is so much walls and so many things of blocking, and it's asymmetrical as all get out, but it had purpose for certain builds, and I don't mean the hide behind 18 layers of barrier builds. I mean builds that had other ways to interact with you across the map or needed those walls to get close to you to set up their strike because they couldn't alpha, stuff like that. Like, there are places for some of these crazy maps, and they're not always used the way I would like for them to be. So,
Yeah.
that's that.
Is there any chance that we might see some of the other ROC BR maps become playable at some point besides Extinct Volcano, the Intersection, and Monument Park?
So, sadly, a lot of those are very symmetrical, and that's a big no-no as far as getting some of our maps legalized because they don't give you options when you play them.
Yeah.
It's really the same kind of layout, maybe just a square or two over. The street fight map, the fountain map, the mini, settle it on the canvas, they're all the same. Even the Hills Crossroad, and that map got played at our first real big event with the new silver format. It's the same four corners. So it's hard to get them to approve those style maps, and that's really where that comes from.
Is there any talk of using large maps with either an option to like turn it sideways or the starting areas are the same distance as like a 2x2 map by just cutting off 8 rows?
No, because of certain things you need on big maps to make certain figures playable.
What about just even creating like a second version of the map?
We've
could change
discussed
the
doing
name.
that with some of our. Well, no, so like last year, even me and Howard talked about bringing back some of the fan favorite maps as 16x16s.
Okay.
But we've
Yeah,
also
because the comp
seen
says
the
that if you have a
reception.
map with the same name, you have to play that 2x2 version.
Right. So it's hard to adjust that now.
Yeah.
Also, some of these aren't really set up to become 16x16s. You lose a good chunk of variety, or it sets up a really bad side for one player. So I am trying to crank out as many map layouts as I can. We've got state map is in process of getting all that stuff hammered out. It's like done at this point. We've got a judge map the judge staff from last year's Rock Cup is putting out. That's in art mode now, and then I have ideas for 6 different maps beyond other like winter or auction based maps I need to get finished.
Okay.
And I think we're doing pretty good on map layouts as far as the last round of them have been. And I want to kind of keep that going because technically right now we're the only new versions of maps out there. So that might be another reason I kind of stopped pushing to bring back older maps. Is because that's a lot of what we're getting right now.
As far as the ones that are on there, I was happy to see Antiquities Warehouse. The only ones I think I'm really missing are Ancient Hold that I mentioned before, and then Red Mines and Underground Temple, I think, is another really cool one that looks awesome. Do you guys have any other ones that you guys... Oh, what's that?
No, you're good. I was thinking of other maps too.
Yeah, do you guys have any other maps that that you would want to have played that aren't on the list?
I think the greatest map of all time, the airline one, where it just turned into a giant kill box with all hindering.
National Air, I think.
Yes, that one needs to come back, please. Just saying.
That one had a
There's
pretty
a couple that I think.
That one had a
ahead,
neat mechanic though. Is that one that just because it's so weird probably would not get back on the playable list?
Yeah, no. There's lots of problems here.
Yeah.
If it ever got brought back, it'd be like you ignore the rules of the map for tournament play. Like maybe then it works, but doubtful.
Okay. Do you guys have any other maps that you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the name of it really fast. There was an older one that I liked that I don't think got enough play. I can find it.
ROC or the main ones, the paper ones?
ROC. It was an ROC map. It was Research Outpost.
That is a good one.
That map. Yeah. It was one of the more like pushed out maps we had. We even have a variant of it. But the setup is really nice. There's no indoor terrain, but it looks like there should be. It was just, I don't know, like I always wanted to do something on it and I never got a chance to. So I kind of hope to see that one come back around.
Isn't that one on the list that you can play?
It is. That's what I'm saying. Like,
oh, okay.
I want to see an uptick. Yeah, like this is one of those maps that I really like.
Yeah, I played that one a ton.
Yes, it's on the map now.
Yeah, that one's awesome. The variant is like it has like snow and a snowplow on it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that one was really cool. Pete, you remember that one, right? I made you play that quite a bit.
Yes, and had to remind me every time if it was indoor or not indoor or something other about it. I would constantly forget about the map. Yes, that's correct.
I think it's required, though, with people playing Starro at First States, that the docks has to be on their maps.
You're damn right.
It's required. Whether you choose it or not, that's up to you.
Notice that? Everybody knows the docks is a nod to the original Starro map, right? Did they actually notice
the
that?
original docks.
Okay. Yeah.
I did not know that.
But the another map I really liked, and then I'll shut up, Ryan. I swear.
No, talk about all the maps.
Sanctuary.
We can go down the whole list of ROC maps, and I will talk about every single one of them. Have you seen my map collection?
I have not. I'm sure I will soon. Sanctuary. Sanctuary is a map I love because of the movie reference that it is, and two, it's a way to protect your colossals if you play it right.
Yeah, because there's no way to shoot them over the indoor blocking, right?
Well, Mern.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, Mern now, but
yeah,
like it's a good map.
Just saying, just change his trait to where it's within 4, the same as his other trait, and then Mern's totally fine and balanced.
Miles
I think he never gets killed.
Oh no.
Yeah, right.
Miles or Dan, did you have any maps that you remember?
Well, I brought in the River Gap, and I actually had a few people at the Rock Cup try to argue the validity of it being a legal map because they've never seen it before. So that is a great map that has no blocking on it. It's just outdoor. That is pretty good.
Yeah, that's
And
another
yeah, I
one.
haven't seen anybody else play it.
Fair. That is a really good map.
That was part of the 6 maps that you could play, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually did do.
Yeah, I still need to get the other 5.
That was our first monthly championship thing that we did with, I think, 8 people. We actually did put them together and ran that one. That was actually a lot of fun.
You need to do that again, and I got to make sure to go there for that month because I got to play on all those maps.
That was for the Mystical game in 2022. So it's almost been 2 years since we did that.
Yeah, well, with Soldier, especially since it's World War II, like that's perfect setup for a Soldier game.
Yeah, we'll have to probably run it back when Soldier comes around next because I've used the Trenches maps the last 2 years.
Yeah.
All right.
I found one I would like to bring back. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I went looking.
Let's talk about maps.
Let me double check to make sure I don't do what I just did again. It is not on there. Cool. I would like to bring back the arcade.
Oh yeah, that's a neat
solely
one too.
for the fact that that's my. Yeah, like the layout is nothing like ooey or awy. It's just like it's a really pretty map when you see it in person, and like working in the field is like, hey, I can play HeroClix and then my job, you know. So I always like that one.
Because they have a bunch of actual prints or whatever of real video games, right? Like the X-Men machines on there, stuff like that. Yeah.
X-Men, Simpsons, Turtles was probably why we could never actually allow it, but
It was cool.
one day.
The casino was kind of neat too with the safe.
Yes.
That one's pretty old. That was a hard one to get. All right, we have quite a few listener questions.
Your ass better call somebody!
First is our local tryhard, Ryan Bookwood. He has a silver question. Can you explore which pieces should also get the restricted tag and or being designated to only one being allowed on a forest? Grand Prize, APOC, and Genesis come to mind instantly. We kind of talk about that already, the Grand Prize APOC, but also I think Major Logan, and I would like to see Kong on there too. Do you guys have any other ones that you would have wanted to see on there?
Yeah, absolutely. Prime Colossus.
Get out.
As as restricted?
No, I think that he should have just been banned. The X-Men Dark Phoenix Saga 17B Colossus. Yeah, no, I'm starting to come around. He just does a lot of things in the format, especially with the Liar Ring. But yeah,
I mean, he can't
we shall see.
actually use the wiring.
Because he can't make range attacks.
No, not on
Right.
him, but for other people. And you team him up with Deadpool, X-Force, Howard the Duck. You can absolutely throw someone off and have them do 10 range mind control. Okay, and that is totally worth 50 points.
Yeah, that sounds like a really Miles build. I mean, more power to you.
That would.
Yeah,
That
but
would
it's
I was gonna say that's not really the mind control piece that I thought of when I think of who to pair with Prime Colossus, but sure, we'll go with that one.
No, Howard. So Howard the Duck, you choose at the beginning of your turn, you choose a standard power that an adjacent friendly can use, and then until your next turn, they can't use the power. So you shut off his Battle Fury, so then now Colossus that can mind control from 10 away.
That's a thing he can do for 50 points.
Yeah, is it good? No, but it'd be hilarious to pull it off.
So there we go.
Hello,
That's something you can do.
HeroClix. Hello, HeroClix community. This is the part of the show where we once again remind you, don't play a Miles build unless you're Miles or talking to Miles about the Miles build.
That's fair. Miles, you know Mantis can do that too, right? I think it's the Infinity one. She can just get rid of your Battle Fury. She can do it. I don't know if she's better, but she's just as cheap.
Yeah, but she's not tiny nor dolphin.
Oh well, I guess I can't compete with that.
No,
Yeah.
that definitely wins.
Do you guys have anything else to add to that or no?
I think we're good.
Okay. He was actually also curious about if we might see the symbiote keyword added retroactively to pieces in silver. I think you kind of touched base on that before with detective. Is that probably not something that'll happen?
Yeah, I can't go back and add keywords. As much as I would like to add a few to certain things, we can't do it.
All right. And then he also had a modern question. After playing a pulp game yesterday, it feels a lot better than it used to. The introduction of Batman swap, I feel, is being overlooked, especially in modern. The 19 defend Batman completely shut down Moon Knight's mystics and made him less scary overall. I guess I don't have a question, just a statement. Overall, pulp feels a lot better after rotation, and I hope it continues to improve. I think the biggest thing right now is that there's just no events going on that you can kind of say how well the Mashes of Timepieces are doing, but I think Batman Swap's really good.
Agreed. There's a lot of different things that can sorry. There's a lot of different things that can be showcased with the Batman swaps, especially Pirate Batman. Good lord.
And I think it's worth the 60 points. In general, though,
Yes.
I think
Oh,
Pulp,
yeah.
Pulp felt really weird just with so many less pieces available, but it was nice to see a lot of the problem pieces gone. Where do you guys think Pulp is sitting right now after rotation?
I actually like where it's at. I've tested a few. There's a few problematic figures. Per Degaton isn't one of them, but overall, I think it's in a healthier spot. I mean, Supergirl is it looks like now to be probably one of the most problematic pieces in it, but I think it's in a lot healthier spot than where it was at with the Deathstrokes and the Blue Marvels, especially with the Falcon placement and stuff. So
Yeah. I'm probably still on a Dracula kick for Pulp. I think it still has legs.
Is there any chance that we might see a silver Pulp at any point?
I mean, people have been doing it. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
I think if you
That is
ended up making Silver Pulp a
still
thing, I think just banning the 2x2s is the best way to go about it.
Silver Pulp, I think, is the actual version of Silver where it goes, it's too big. Because there are so many different things. And in reality, it's probably just goes straight back into Blue Marvel, Falcon, Deathstroke.
Yeah.
And then fun things that make them gross.
Yeah, it's a lot more to look into about what makes it not fun.
Yeah. So
Uh,
I think not doing Silver Pulp publicly is a better play.
Yes.
Wes Robertson, first question: if you were attending Red, White, and cliX event, what would you play in 300 Modern? So I am attending that. I'm currently working on an Assassins team. I got to play a winner map this last weekend, and I got to see some kind of weaknesses with it. So just trying to optimize that. Otherwise, if it doesn't work, I'm going to go back to Mystical. Where do you guys at with Modern builds right now?
I'm looking at Future, Past, and Time Stealers at the moment.
Three
I'm probably
separate
going with
teams.
Time Stealers. Yeah, it's three separate teams trying to figure out the best. I've been testing the Time Stealers, and I really like what it brings. So most likely that, yeah, the Ultra Humanite dinosaur is just too good. He's becoming more and more one of my favorite pieces.
Really?
Yeah.
Dan, what about you?
I have Blue Beetle on my force right now. That's pretty much where I'm sitting. So my team has definitely like weaknesses, but with like the no full map alphas as much, or at least it feels like that right now. It's there's a little more give and take, which is nice. So
How afraid of assassins are your team?
they could care less actually.
Okay. Pete, do you have a team that you're working on Modern yet?
Mystical with Beetle, non-theme with Beetle. I think he just does so much, and I pretty much have committed to Beetle until he stabs me in the back, as he will eventually, where I never actually manage to erase anything the whole time I play him.
That'll be ones
That's
and
my
twos.
prediction so far. Yes, oh, it's 100%. At least I'm getting penetrating damage, so I don't feel quite as terrible.
Well, you get
But
remove powers, so he actually does get use at full if you don't eat something off the map still.
I was gonna say,
But
just getting rid of powers is good in and of itself.
Yeah, Dan, what did you had two, I think, solid games, right? One against a big Kong and then one against a Phoenix Wolverine.
Yeah, so I one turned to 200-point Kong and one turn to Phoenix Wolverine. So it was that's because he shut off powers. He's like, you don't have impervious Kong, and then I trick arrowed with the nth metal and just proceeded to chew through the monkey or well the ape, and then same thing with Phoenix Wolverine. It was all right. I'm gonna take away your super senses and just chew through the dial.
Yeah, everyone's caught up on the deleting powers thing that they're not really focusing on that part. Aaron, do you have a build for Modern that you're kind of workshopping right now?
Tomorrow.
Yes, normally I would say Starro. I do really like Raptor Beast Boy and Camo. So I can say I'm working on that too. Last couple of games where I really got to play Raptor Beast Boy, I got to T-Rex every game except one where the guy just was like, "Nope, kill the raptor." So I think Beast Boy could eventually get to where he needs to be. I'm just still tweaking it, but yeah, I mean, if I had to show up tomorrow, I'm bringing Starro.
Is the Beast Boy a theme team?
Beast Boy is definitely a theme team. It is Time Stealers, excuse me. So it's Camo with the Hell Cycle, Beast Boy Raptor with the motorcycle, Ultra Humanite from Masters of Time and Predegaton for TK for Beast Boy and Camo. Predegaton's at 40, and I still have 5 points to like give another equipment to Predegaton or whatever.
Okay, yeah,
But
I think Camo's gonna come back hard here.
Yes, I do too. So it's nice to always be looking at all your options when you're building for Modern. Starro is an easy play for me because I've played it for so damn long, but I don't want to give up on trying to make Beast Boy work either.
His second question, if you weren't already attending the Red, White, and cliX charity event, what would incentivize you to go? I think always the number one thing would be prizing, right?
I think it's prizing and its availability to like be able to go. Like I mean,
Distance, yeah,
like
for
this,
sure, right?
yeah. This event is close enough.
yeah, it's tough for me too because we finally got our West Coast League funded by WizKids. So like, and that's the 10th. So, and I've helped Alyssa try and push that hard. So it'd be hard for me to go to the event even if I could, just because we want to try and make that successful. But yeah, that'd be the only thing. Mainly is just travel.
And then does what's that? Aaron, what'd you say?
Sorry, I said same. That's all that's really stopping me is travel.
Okay. Third question, does Black Panther look like a good sealed set so far? Have you guys looked at the 2 days that we've gotten worth of the videos yet?
Yeah, I don't think that we've seen enough to really say if it's good or bad with only 4 boosters. So
I can say some of it looks fun.
Yeah.
I think the main thing though is that it shows a lot of pieces using that vibranium tokens. So I think in a sealed format, it's going to be a lot of fun to play if they keep pumping out pieces that interact with the vibranium. Just trying to build something or taking it from your opponent, building your own thing. I think that that's going to be a pretty fun little mechanic for playing a sealed set. McConnell Lamar, first question, any concerns with the change to mission points? Kind of touched based on that. I like what's being tried, but if it is a problem, I do kind of just hope they go away. I do like the current option, though, and what they're trying to do with it. Did you guys want to add anything to the mission point question?
no, yeah, I think we handled it really well at the beginning, with all the concerns and all that stuff. So
I like the change. I think the change is a great idea. So whoever came up with it, kudos, because I think victory points is actually just better.
And it keeps it cleaner,
yeah, it's just
too.
gonna take hit and miss, and trying to figure out how to make it balanced because yeah, it's changing as something to be something different than it was originally supposed to, and so obviously there's going to be ways to break it in a format like Silver. So it's a balancing act.
And
We
also,
will get there.
oh,
Yep.
No, you're good. I was just saying, like, we'll get there.
Then early thoughts on Black Panther. So it kind of just touched base on that sealed set. I'm honestly really curious if vibranium tokens show up in any other set after this one is released, though. But just seeing more power pieces, I think, will help get a better feel of what the set's going to offer. Did you guys have anything else to add with
Yeah,
Black Panther?
I'm a huge fan of the Black Panther comics from the Silver Age. So I'm really hoping to see some nods to that with certain figures, especially the jungle action era from Black Panther, which is a forgotten era.
What
I
years
love
was
those. So
that?
there's a few of those. I want to say 73 to 76, I believe. I'm gonna double check it.
I love Black Panther as a character. Christopher Priest run in Black Panther. It's one of my favorite comic series of all time. So if you haven't read it, go read it. The first probably 20 issues are just a tour de force of why Wakanda and T'Challa are such amazing kind of comic characters. So I'm excited for it. I have to say that I'm waiting on Collector's Trove just for the game itself because of the equipment. But I'm very very happy with what I've seen so far from the 2 days. So I'm very optimistic this is going to be a great set.
Pete, are there any?
Yep, 73 to 76. So yep, I was right.
That's pretty accurate. Pete,
Yeah.
are there any pieces that you're hoping do make it into the set that we haven't seen yet?
Well, we got Hatat Zarazi today. I'd like to see the White Wolf come back and have them interact again. Obviously, we're going to get some very good T'Challas and Shuri's. But there's tons of Wakandan characters that, like, you could easily put Manifold back into here in another modern version since we lost the last one. I'm just trying to go through things. And it's Wakanda is such an important, like, part of major comic arcs, especially in modern stuff. So I think you have a lot to draw from. I obviously always want a good Wakabi because the one from Avengers Defender War, Red, you've probably seen that piece probably 35 times. So anything like him I would be happy with.
Yeah, he's made a lot of teams. Can you talk about any changes that you wanted for Silver Age that didn't happen? My big thing was Carnage Silver Surfer getting banned and Mern gone. Miles, did you have any idea of what else you would have liked to seen?
I mean, I think Aaron actually covered a lot of it. It's sad to see the barrel go. That's just me though, because I like to play defensive, so I prefer to go second. And so any way to try and protect my team from an alpha, is what I prefer. Mern is definitely a problem, and like I said earlier and multiple times before, I think that he just needs to get addressed and have both of his traits be as long as he's within 4 of them. I think map wide is a little bit harsh, especially in a format like Silver, where if you don't play those keywords, then you're playing Silver wrong. So it's hit and miss, but yeah. I'm happy with where it's at. I think that it's going to be a lot more open than we're thinking. It's the sky is falling day, and so states is I'm interested to see what's going to be winning states.
I think honestly, with a lot of the changes that were made, it's going to be kind of cool to see how less things. I thought there's going to be a lot more stuff banned, so not having as many things banned and still making it feel healthy is kind of a surprise.
Absolutely.
Dan, do you have any
Try,
pieces?
I swear.
What?
I mean, I generally like how things shook out, so I'm not really. I guess, like, if anything, it would just be pieces that I could have thought went on to, like, not necessarily the restricted list, but were Highlander. I think that's like the only maybe thing, but otherwise, I generally like how the list shook out right now. So.
Pete, do you have any pieces that you would have liked to seen addressed or changed, like besides Madam Web?
Yeah, well, obviously that piece of shit piece. I mean, I think Mern. So here's my whole thing, really, and this is to throw laurels at the feet of our guest. Also, like Varian's very involved in silver, and so I'm confident that if Mern becomes one of those things that sees every table, every plate, it will get addressed. That's the only thing that I think really in silver is kind of doesn't you don't have a great answer for Mern now, especially with the stop signs and the barrel being gone. But he's got to be proven to be a problem. He's a killable piece, but he does a lot of great things for every team and every keyword that he matches up with. So I think that's probably the only other piece that I think maybe needs to get looked at or adjusted. But that's just me.
And then, Aaron, are you at liberty to say anything that you would have liked to see change that didn't go through?
Actually, this go around, a lot of it did. The restricted list kind of got brought up. A handful of figures that I would like to figure out how to properly address them, because I feel like the restricted list might be too heavy-handed for the other ones. But yeah, the Highlander aspect for certain figures would be great. They're still playable, but you got to play one, or you got to bring in another one from outside the game, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, a lot of the changes did hit, and while the sky is falling today and tomorrow and probably the day after, a lot of the response so far has been really positive. Some of it is new and needs to be explained. Like I've got one guy still tagging me about the restricted list and what happens if you mind control a character that's on the restricted list and it goes to your force. Well, it just goes to your force. It's not part of your build sheet. It's your opponent's figure. You're getting access to it via the mind control. That's how primes work. It'll be okay. Yeah. So it's more of let's make sure everybody understands what's happening, and we'll get through it. Kind of feel for me right now.
Hopefully, it's a little bit more easy to understand than Doors and Windows, and it sticks around because I think it really is going to help Silver Age a lot.
Yes, I mean, hey, I agree. I mean, hey, it might even help Modern. You never know.
I'd like to see that, actually.
You could. Yeah, that would be fun.
Alec Muser asks, how would each of you build Blue Beetle for in Modern? So he's near the top of my pieces that I want to build with. There's just so many pieces right now. I like him on Mystical, though, but he is very squishy, so he needs to be carefully protected, I think, with just like TK and Barrier after he attacks, like the old yo-yo technique. Otherwise, off-theme, Despero, Green Man, stuff like that. I think he pairs with Green Man really well. And then Legacy Daredevil is just the body block with of course the barrel. Miles, are you looking at anything? What's that, Plastic Man?
Yeah, Plastic Man, absolutely no. Yeah, you go Mystical. What you need to do is you need to start with him. Then you want to throw in Donnie Blaze with Tolerette because that combo is underrated right now.
He's not even joking. Well, it's actually really good.
Yeah, no, I'm not joking at all. Donnie Blaze with Tolerette is a real deal, and I think that's why we now have Tolerette at 275. So it's got to be Donnie Blaze. But no, yeah, I think Mystical's where you're going to go with it. I mean, you can get team him up with what's his name, the King Jefferson, which is still really good. Madame Xanadu with the non-prime. You also have Constantine. You can go non-theme with him. I'm personally not a non-theme person. I haven't really delved too deep into the team, but I do know that it's the Rare Madison, Donnie Blaze with Towerette, and Blue Beetle. That's the where I'm starting to build at is with them. That's the core.
Yeah, because those three get you full map, so you can hit all the way to the back row with just those three. Because you got to double perplex, one into range, one into attack. The TK plus his running shot, or I think maybe it's speed. I'm sorry, I think it's speed and range, and then your full map with Blue Beetle. So, it's very good. I mean, he's just a good attacker. The thing is, with all the modifications we've had, like he's harder to hit than you think. Like, there was a 12 on a 19 and people missed. So it was. I think, especially because he's got top dial prob, I don't think he's as he's still squishy, but I don't think he's an easy hit either. If you're not like perplexing yourself to like a 13 or a 14.
Do you want to go over anything else that you're playing on the team?
Yeah, so my team that I'm doing right now is him. I have Werewolf by Night because Ian, I know you're listening. Um, Deadpool and Elsa with the trick arrows because they're just good and they're my leadership on my team. I do have Donnie Blaze with Tararet because support is huge, and I forgot about that in one of my games, and that comes in really handy when you can like if he gets hit, I can just go back and heal him. So, and then I have Madison on my team. I think I only have the 5 figures. Yeah, 'cause it's Beetle, Werewolf by Night, Deadpool and Elsa with the trick arrows, Madison and Donnie. So.
Oh, that's right. Then you spawn in Jeff.
Yeah, and then I spawn in Jeff to make the pizza. And the pizzas were super helpful too, just for the healing on my non-monster characters, which was really nice. So, I like it. I don't have like board wide alpha, but I can do it with Beetle, but I almost don't just because he's there not just to delete, but I like him just the getting rid of powers has been huge. So just being able to
him not sharing keywords with Mern is huge.
Oh yeah,
and why?
I mean, and I could just delete Mern too. So
Yeah.
but it was one of those where it's very matchup dependent. But I like how it played so far. But then again, what I played on Sunday was not what I was expecting. Like I built expecting Despero, and other stuff. So I was trying to counter build for things that I didn't even face on Sunday. So.
Yeah, it was
mean, still
people are
made the
definitely
final.
people are bringing like good stuff, but it definitely was a little bit of a I don't know, off of what you would see at like a main event just because of the caveat that you had to play a Deadpool or Wolverine piece. Pete, did you list what you were playing on the Blue Beetle build?
I mean, the mystical is pretty similar to Dan, honestly. Kind of for the same things. Donnie Blaze, Miles is 100% right. If you don't own one or you haven't looked at him, seriously go look at him. He's great. On my non-theme build, I'm toying with Blue Beetle, Despero, 20-point Madison for the Perplex, per Degaton, and the Con Alley Watcher because I love that piece, and I'm gonna make it work at some point before it goes away. Damn it! So that's kind of what I've been messing with, and it hits all your major. I mean, obviously, per Degaton provides a ton of support powers, and so between that and Despero taking away sidelines, it's kind of just a. I'm just trying to predict. I'm just trying to kind of make people play to the pace or what I want, and then utilizing Beetle and the Watcher. And the Watcher is just a load to get through. So that's what I'm looking at right now.
Have you used him with Supergirl yet?
Watcher?
Yeah.
Not yet, but I have a hard time leaving Supergirl off of builds right now. I have to tell you that I start a lot of things with her, but she's not made this version of this team yet. But I can kind of relook at it and that it's an offensive heavy team, so it's really just trying to get up on somebody quick, like trying to obviously get Beetle's trick off of getting rid of something, or just taking away power, and just letting the Watcher come in and do work on a team. So.
Aaron, are you looking at Blue Beetle at all?
I made a build because he asked.
All right, what does that build look like?
Camelot theme. So Blue Beetle, full points. Dr. Fate from Masters of Time. Morgan Le Fay is the team up with the motorcycle. Strife from Deadpool Weapon X with the motorcycle, and Etrigan with the Hell Cycle. Got Etrigan. I can't have Etrigan Primus on it, but given regular Etrigan more mobility, I was looking at the hypersonic click and ESD, so he's a threat that's coming at you, but if you go after him, it's hard to hit him.
Mm-hmm.
Strife locks out all opposing prob, basically, which is awesome. Without having to play Constantine straight up.
Right.
Morgan Le Fay is fun with her mind control, which I'm big in playing that in general. but she doesn't get that until later in her dial. I don't know. She's a good support tech for this team.
Its stop
TK
click is
and
good
Prob with
too.
Fate with it. Yeah, it is. The chance to make a bunch of Fates if I hit Super Senses or Shape Change is always fun because way more enhancement on a Blue Beetle in general sounds fun. I don't know. I might top with it. It could just be a local fun build. I don't know, but I made one.
Thanks. I definitely want to see more Camelot teams. Luminati asks, "Are you content?" So I think this is really good. There's a couple of things we've kind of mentioned. I'd like to see a couple more pieces on the restricted list. Sad to see the barrel benched and all black, but overall it looks way better than it did before the Rock event in May. So I'm excited to start building. Miles, what about you? Are you content?
Yeah, I'm always content. I complain about stuff that I really honestly don't really care about most of the time. Um, yeah, it's tough because like even though like we have the silver season coming in, I have a modern tournament at the beginning of November, so I'm not yet in the full silver mode until then.
Yeah, that's where
So
we are too. I feel that. Dan,
yeah,
what's
and so
your? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
once that gets, I would say once that gets done, I'm gonna have 20 days to really get into the silver mode because I plan on playing at least one states, and so I got pretty much 3 weeks to just go all in. So that's when it's gonna get really fun.
Which one are you judging again?
Judging the Oregon one, and that's December 7th.
Okay, and so you're probably playing what, Washington?
Yeah, that's gonna be November 30th.
Okay. Yeah, we're going down to the Red, White, and Clicks event. That's the 9th, and then I think the 30th is ours.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we can make Chicago's also.
That'll be good.
Dan, what's your level of content?
Cool as a cucumber.
Great. Pete, what would you say?
Oh, overall, I think the silver changes are great. And I'm pretty content with everything. I think we covered kind of the stuff that we'll get a look because the judges and everybody are very in tune to it and very reactive to the game, and that's good for the game overall. People get pissed off when they can't play their broken jank. But, I mean, maybe just try playing HeroClix occasionally and remember that you enjoy it. So, that's my suggestion.
That's great
That's so
advice.
fun.
Aaron, what would you say? I think it is a little different of a level for you on your level of content.
Overall, I'm very content. Like I said, a lot of the feedback has been very positive. A lot of people are excited about the changes this go around. I am happy to get to do the one-man army thing. I've been wanting to do that since we rolled into 400 outright. So overall, I'm very content. Yeah, there's a few things that I still have to work on and address, but that's what I do. So no days off.
Richard Zatlukul asks, ask Aaron about the decision to temporarily ban Cathan. I understand it sees a lot of play, but it's fairly accessible figure that has a downside. Seems excessive. Other than that, I like the update ban restricted list a lot.
Pretty much covered Cthulhu,
I think
right?
Yeah.
I was we already covered Cthulhu, so that question got answered.
Okay.
And that's really all it was.
Garrett Schnathorst. Well, Ryan, looks like you're riding a Arachnite train into silver. Are you pumped for that? So I was actually worried he was going to get banned. So to see him not make the list was awesome. However, I was looking forward to getting to play my monsters again. So that's going to be a very difficult choice for me. But Cathan getting cut does hurt Arachnite a little because I do like playing him at 100 points. But he'll definitely get played on a silver team by me. It just might not be this run of states because I'm pretty excited to go back to monsters. And then he adds, honestly, love the restricted list. Adds another little element to play around with. Figures you think should have been on that list instead of the ban list. I'm slightly sad about the witches. I think we covered a lot of that stuff. Did you guys have any others that you would have added to the restricted list that we haven't covered yet?
No.
We
APOC
hit
would have
all
been
those
one.
notes.
Yeah, I think the APOC's the only major one that would have been like, yeah, just one of him would be nice.
Yeah, I think him and Major Logan are the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
Major Logan for me. The one that got under the radar.
was Major Logan. Yeah, I think he's gonna be a potential problem. So, love seeing a lot of fun pieces off the bench list. Which ones are you most excited to see in the mix? For me, as I said, Sky Tyrant and Venom Magneto. I missed them a lot. Miles, what are you most excited for? Oh, Aaron, go ahead.
Yeah, Apocalypse actually. I know we're all worried about multiples, but I was building 300-point Apocalypse for Silver Age the day I realized I could bring it back. So I'm excited to let the monster loose.
See, I want Genesis now. I'm like, oh, I can play her at like big boy dial. That's their big girl dial. That sounds fun.
Well, with the stop signs gone, they're actually playable.
Yeah. Unless you face a plastic man.
And the barrel gone, they're also playable.
Yeah. I'm with Pete, Saki. Saki's one of my favorite pieces of all time. Playing him on that double Fantastic Four celebrity swap was still like one of my favorite teams I've ever built. And so it'd be nice to maybe try and see what I can do with that by adding an extra 100 points. So, yeah, that could be fun.
I'm happy Saki's back. I know there's ways to deal with him, and I think he's still a great piece. But I think in Silver, as people have pointed out, there's a lot of ways to limit him and his effectiveness. But he is one of the most utility-ridden pieces out there. Like, he just does whatever you need him to do at the time, and you absolutely have to have a way to deal with him. So I am very happy the Sackman's back.
He plays like Iron Man. Like he just plays like Iron Man. That's what's so great about it.
Now, Pete, would you say there's a 100% chance that you're playing him on your Silver team?
I would say it's 95%. I mean, the problem with me in builds is always like I have my build and the one that I really think through, and we play test occasional. Like, we don't do a ton. Like, we should do a little more local Silver, I think, and I think that our local judge does a great job of balancing stuff out, especially before events. But I'm just as likely the morning of a tournament to just change my mind completely and bring the wrong team and then wonder why I got thumped the whole day. So,
And then he also added any way to circle around to questions from the last episode. Kind of wanted to hear thoughts on that Slop Gorgon still. We definitely have thoughts on that Slop Gorgon, so we did added them back to the end of the episode, so stick around for those. Then we have Mark Bird. First question, if Aaron were to spend a day with Aquamiles and Rebgorn, what mantle would he choose?
Holy shit.
Mop
I
man.
think that has to be yeah. That one might actually get me in trouble.
You wouldn't just be the trickster? What?
No, like those were very organic for y'all, and it was fun. I wouldn't want to like spoil that, so it would need to be something organic. So like, what was it? The drunk uncle from SNL, like maybe drunk Uncle Aaron or something. But that's
good.
Yeah, I got some ideas now. Okay, Drunkle Aaron.
And was that possibly coming to Tide in the future? Aaron just has to pregame the episode and just show up on there.
That's pretty good.
we don't there's some dirty, sweaty shirt with food stains on it. I want like sort of like David Hasselhoff when he's trying to eat the burger.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force showing up on it now. Is really all I'm picturing.
God, oh yeah. We just go there and swim in his pool. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are the top 3 tentpole choices in Silver with the new rulings? I have one. It's Venom Goddess Symbiotes.
Loki.
Yeah, Loki's great.
Yeah, I think that those are 2 of the top. With probably Darkseid is number 3.
I was gonna say Darkseid we know is good, so.
Yeah, so Darkseid. Yeah. I think Venom Goddess Symbiotes. I know that there is Phoenix Wolverine, but Venom Goddess Symbiotes is just. I think there's something there at 270 with 130 points to build.
He was close in 300, so yeah, I think him in 400 could be something really cool.
Yeah.
Pete, what's your top one?
Dark Side, Loki. Kong is silver legal, yeah?
He
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So Big Boy Kong is going to get a look by people, especially because then you're going to probably be playing down versus other people. So Kong's Kong.
Yeah, 300
But,
point Kong could be dangerous.
Yeah. So I think those are probably the top three.
Does he have a 300-point line?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought it was like 50, 200, 500 for some reason.
Kong has like 25,000 keywords in every point line possible. So, and another one that people, if you really want to provide justice for Krakoa, you could play that. But that's a pretty bold choice in my world as a tentpole type thing. I know he's already in silver, so you could definitely do it.
Someone gets top 4 out of states with 300-point legacy Krakoa. I got a graded comic that's going to be with your name written on it. That's how that works. Challenge has been set.
Oh God, you remind me
Someone
of that
catch
too.
me. Yeah. Yeah.
What are your favorite pieces from
Yeah,
Deadpool?
Star.
What are your favorite pieces from Deadpool Weapon X and Masters of Time to build into Silver Age team without taking the tentpole route? I think Deadpool and Hitmonkey, Deadpool and Elsa, and also Jeff. Jeff has made just a ridiculous amount of my teams. And then Masters of Time, I think Batman Swap. That's my type of piece, I think, just the way that they play together. And then Green Man and Harley are up there too. I've been able to play them a little bit, and they are very impressive.
For me,
Yeah,
Master Time is going to be Ultra Humanite and Supernova. I realize it's 105 points, but there's so many animal keywords in silver that I think you can still make it even with one maggot. It's no longer the end all be all team, but it's still outside of a mirror match. You can guarantee to either choose map or go first, which is super helpful.
yeah. I'm like I said earlier, the Beast Boys from Masters of Time are something I'm toying with, and I have to revamp the Glory Hole build with Wolvie Pool. So,
That's a piece that's like almost there. He's very cool. It's just hard to fit him on 300 points, so that'd be very cool to see him on a 400 point team. Maybe Assassins with Triple H.
yes.
Yeah.
Dan, what about you? Deadpool Weapon X and Masters of Time into silver.
Master of Time, Supergirl, because her and Genesis are going to be best friends. Deadpool Weapon X, probably just Deadpool and Elsa. That was like the figure that I wanted the most out of that set, so probably that figure, to be honest. Because anything also spit out Jeff by proxy, so.
And then Pete, do you have anything?
Deadpool and Elsa is amazing. I would also go Weapon X, the Chase. I think he's just wildly fun when you don't roll 1 or 2s for the damage power to get through people. He's probably better when you roll an occasional 3. And from Masters, I can't believe we had Aaron and Miles on a podcast, and Masters of Time came up, and we haven't had Starro listed 25,000 times. So
True.
I'm a little wondering what's going on here right now. So, yeah.
Like I brought up
yeah.
Starro for Aaron, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Starro." I'm like, "Wait a minute."
Well, we've already done our job. He's now selling for 500. So, I mean, we've done our job.
Yeah. No, I mean, Silver Age Double Starro is definitely tech I'm focused on right now, especially with states. But I mean,
Trying to keep it
the
hush
idea
hush then.
with-
Secret tech.
No, I'll say it right now. I don't care. Bring your games, people. Yeah, I'll read it now. So my Starro tech is unthemed. 100-point original version of Starro. Colossus is 60 out of necessity for what I need on the build. Indigo 1 with the free Indigo ring. Mern with the Dark Hold. Maria Hill with Spin Ring and the Liar Ring. Space Ghost is a really obvious play in Silver if you're not using him. And Legacy Starro as an avatar of Khonshu.
And you've been having pretty good luck with that,
basically
right?
it's my... Yeah, I mean, I know Ed AB did it in modern, got Starro to click 1. I'm doing it in silver. By turn 2, he's full dial and rocking and rolling. So I've got one mind controlling you and one blowing a hole in you. And then if you get close, Colossus is there to deter you from ever doing that again. Space Ghost is prob protection against you. Maria Hill has Pleasant Hill, which is a big part of the trick. Basically, if I target you with mind control, I pick one of the characters I targeted that wasn't dealt damage. Let me make sure I'm saying it right. After resolutions, that targeted character can't make attacks or be attacked until your next turn unless it's the only character on the force. So I like that against the Darkseid matchup because I just make Darkseid shoot one of his friends and then go sit in a corner, and he's going to sit in that corner the whole game. And it's going to be real rough for them. And it's tech that was around when the 2x2 animated Dark Phoenix set dropped with Onslaught. I'm just making it this version. So I think I'm going to get some people off guard. I'm not afraid to talk about my build. I've been talking about it with a lot of people. I have a couple people running it, actually, for my states and another one. So Starro is going to do Starro things, and we'll see who comes out on top. But I'm excited for Silver. Overall, modern Starro is definitely a thing. I just like talking about variety builds. I don't want to always just say it's Starro or die, even though a lot of people expect that from me.
Miles actually has that tattoo on his belly.
Yeah.
Instead of Thug Life, it's Starro Life.
Hard because, like, I prefer the Starro build with the Mjolnir, and so I've never really played the mind control tech, and so it's a complete different change of play style of how I played Starro, and I don't feel like playing him for 180 just yet. So, yeah, I haven't figured out that build yet.
We'll get there. I'm supposed to sit down with Nick tomorrow, actually, with it.
I think he's going to do obviously really good in either silver or modern. So those are great starts to any build. Leading into that, though, Matthew Zielinski wants to know why wasn't Prime Colossus benched or at least on the watch list?
So while we all know Prime Colossus is very good, and Miles has already said he should have been watch listed, there are answers in this format to him. There are less answers to him in modern.
It's very true.
And so while I would say, hey guys, you got a lot of problems over there in modern land, you should come play in silver, where at least you have chances to be like, no, we're not going to do that today. Cosmo just rotated into silver. It'd be really funny to be like, hey, Colossus, it would be a shame if you just didn't have Impervious your whole dial and shoot him off the map. Or if I get one really good off with a Fantastic Four build, which I'm surprised nobody's tried to recreate yet, having Leech walk over and be like, you don't have any powers. Kill it now. You know, like, there are ways to answer him. The Enchanted Crowbar, that's a big one. You have invulnerability.
I love the
I'm just
crowbar.
gonna whack you in the face until you're dead. So, yes, he is problematic, but he's not such a problem that I feel he's gonna run rampant. I already said I'm playing him, but I'm playing him because he makes my tech work without having to worry about the emotional modifier. But there are other ways to handle him. So, be smart with how you're building and he'll be okay. But on the same note, I'm watching. I've proven I pay attention to the meta. So just let it breathe and enjoy what's coming. And if he's on every winning build, then we know I missed one. But I don't think I did. There are other things that are going to take the spotlight.
All right.
Dolphin
is an option.
Well, and anytime I had success against anybody that played Prime Colossus was just bringing out the dog, and Cosmo's just like, nope, you're not doing anything I don't want you to do. You can move, that's it, and we'll deal with you when we get to it. So, yeah, he's a great answer.
I mean, Prime Blue Beetle says you don't have something. I can just walk up, shoot him, and go, you can't charge. Sit there.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of options to deal with them. I think the biggest thing is just that it turns off the Battle Fury option to deal with far range mind control from the emotional modifier or something like that. I think that's really the biggest thing.
Then just make sure they can't see you. You love indoor maps.
I do.
He is Mern.
Yeah, you're not really hiding from me unless you just don't play those keywords. But that's the upside to mind control version of Starro. Starfights are coming one way or another, and I'm gonna get to mind control you.
Yeah, no, that's why I said Dolphin. I think Dolphin has a real good shot in there because you can even do the Colossus tech with that with the Batman team up, Aquaman ruler. So
And Flashpoint Flood is legal in Silver too.
It is.
It's a good map.
Joseph
good map.
Harrison, thought process behind Agatha and Scarlet Witch ban versus pieces like Sicarian Iron Man and Venom Magneto coming off the ban list.
Well, so I was very upfront last year when those two figures went on the temp list. 1 year they're coming off unless they just appear to be very broken. They're not. They're just Swiss Army knives. Both have answers in the format now that can either turn off the ability to pick powers or make it to where you're just sidestepping twice instead of TKing for 8 squares.
Well, there's also things like Colossus that just kills Saki. Like a Colossus hits Sicarian, he's just dead.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. And then there's Deathstroke who just goes, wow, you didn't have any stats or powers. That's weird. Get out. I mean, so you got to look at everything, not just the things you think are scary. Like, I can't focus on just one specific thing. There are so many things in this format. And as I said with the witches, like as an example, they're on the ban list now. But what if something in the future comes out where, hey man, the witches are the answer? Well, bring them back, right? That's how I look at the list. There's a balance and ebb and flow, and if I don't have that, I'm not actually doing my job.
That's fair. He does say thank you for not touching Arachnite, though, which I agree.
I really thought both fighters were going to be benched. So I was like, oh, they're both gone.
You did mention again how there's so much in Silver. Is there a chance that we might see where Silver starts to be pushed up a little bit at some point?
So I am for an eternal format.
Okay.
That's the Magic player in me. I get there's a lot. I even said there's a lot for Pulp, but I think that's because Pulp is a very focused format, and Silver is very vast. Whereas in Meta, you kind of go, all right, I'm going to build with Starro. I need the things to make Starro work. And then you shrink your field. Where Pulp, it's like, wow, there's a lot. Because I can go all the way back to Superior Foes and play Overdrive if I want to for a taxi or whatever. And there's just better ways to handle it than red flag everything.
Okay. Yeah, no, that was a good answer because I was definitely curious if you're still looking at pieces that don't see a lot of play though. From what was the Spider-Man set, Superior Foes.
Superior Foes.
Yeah, there's quite a few pieces that just between point values and stuff they just aren't going to see play. But I was just curious if they would be ever thinking about moving that up a little bit to what's next, like Thor or something like that.
Well, there's a few sets that are like that.
So I will say that. Hold on, my dog is asleep. Wake up. All right, anyway. She was barking, I'm sorry. When Silver Age was in its designs phase, we had actually started it at Mighty Thor. And it was called the Mighty Age. And then it evolved into Silver Age as we have it now. So as far as rotating anything, the only time I'd ever looked at it would be like, all right, so I took sets. Do I leave Connelly's? Because like Kerr from Superior Foes and even some of the super rares, don't really have value, but a lot of the con at least do.
Yeah.
It's like, do I want to like remove that from play altogether, especially with bronze kind of disappearing now? So I feel like if bronze is going away, then silver is the one eternal format outside of golden. Golden is way worse than anything silver does.
Oh yeah, we don't have to talk about Golden Age.
Yeah, right. Golden is the Wild West. Silver Age is around the Wild West. But yeah, I mean, think of it that way. There isn't an eternal format that is watched, except for Silver Age now. And I would rather it be a format that if some player walked into a store and found a Superior Foes brick or a Joker's Wild brick or something, was like, I bought this, what can I play this in? They have a format. You walk in and be like, I pulled Bizarro Green Arrow. Well, you can definitely play that here.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that was a good answer.
I think Eternal is Eternal is the way to go.
Joseph Benitez asks, why can't we use the Masters of Evil team-up cards? I think we kind of touched base on that. Just the availability was what it was.
Yeah, basically.
And then Peter Marshfield asks, Arachnite plus Power Gem, go? I played that at the Rock Cup, and that was awesome. He was dealing just crazy damage. I had Cathan on him. I think he was like a 14 for, 14 for 7 or something like that. So I think that is a great play. And then Spidey Prime cries in a corner, even though he doesn't have his ultimate toy in the Necro Sword. I think right now they can just keep each other company, but they'll be separated at some point here.
He doesn't need the Necro Sword.
He doesn't, but they were best friends.
Yeah, I saw the Necro Sword also just like completely nerf him too at the same time. I remember Worlds last year, so
It's like your nemesis is the Necro Sword.
it doesn't let me do my whole shtick. So yes, it kind of is. That's why Ghost Rider's the best.
That makes sense to me. Still being gone, that literally was Worlds last year, right? Like Prime Spidey the Necro Sword, and so I love the all black Necro Sword. It gets a lot of play from me because I play Dan, and so I'll be happy when it comes back, but I'm not upset that it's gone still right now.
Thoughts on making your own beef jerky? Good idea or bad idea? What spices would you try adding to make a superb batch of jerky? Do you guys have an answer for that one?
Yes, there is a secret ingredient that a lot of people actually don't use when making their own jerky, and that's Worcestershire sauce or Worcestershire sauce, whatever you like to call it.
You mean Winchester sauce?
Go, thanks. That's the right answer right there.
Worcestershire sauce? Yes.
No.
That's exactly what you use.
No, Aaron,
that's a lot better than what I thought Miles was about to say as soon as he was talking about secret ingredients. So I'm fine with Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah. No, that's secret. I've yet to have bad jerky whenever I use that or soy sauce.
I think you should go for it and then just bring some to the next event that we're both at.
This is once again why we're the greatest value in free HeroClix podcast, because not only do you get HeroClix content, you get reviews of beef jerky recipes. I'm a fan of beef jerky. I like deer jerky. We live in a state where a lot of hunters are, so I'm always happy when people are at work passing around the deer jerky they made. So,
see, I guess I'm the oddball. I really like bison jerky. It's delicious.
I've not had that, but I think all jerky in general is pretty good. So that's 5 people that say go for it. And then he did actually put a silver build in here for states that he was asking for feedback on. So it's a ruler team. Did you guys get a chance to look at that?
Yeah.
So it's got Prime Emperor Gladiator at 100 points with the Billy Clubs, Blackheart at 75 with the Power Gem, Annihilation with the Emotional Modifier, a Butterfly, Venom Magneto with Avatar of Khonshu, and then the White Shirt Porter with Sinestro Core Ring, and then Sideline for Butterfly, the, what is this, Deadpool? The King of Hell Deadpool?
Empire.
Empire, yeah. The Elsa Bloodstone that stops healing, Harry Leland from XDPS, John Constantine, and then Mr. Oz and Mern and Scrappy Doo. So originally I thought that it might lack a little bit of just ways to get multiple attacks, but depending on what your butterfly swap is with the Venom Magneto being able to double TK, I think it's actually got some potential there. What did you guys think about this one?
It's team good stuff. Like, he took the highlights of really good builds and was like, let's just monster mash.
Yeah.
I mean,
Although I will think Starro would just really enjoy this team. Be like, here, Emperor Gladiator, shoot that guy, then go into the corner.
yeah, once or twice. And also, so I have to be careful with who I shoot that has mystics.
Not if Gladiator has a
Yeah,
confidence token, then he doesn't care.
you're true. Very true. But yeah, I mean, in general, you have to be careful who you put in a corner and who you get rid of first. But yeah, it's a team. If you see it from across from you, I wouldn't be like, oh, this will be easy.
And then Annihilation's still making Mastermind fodder for both Emperor Gladiator and Blackheart. So there's definitely some synergy there. I think it takes a second to kind of look at, but I think it's got some potential.
Agreed.
I
like it. Emperor Gladiator is amazing. So that's still one of the best 100 points attacker, and getting the clubs on him just makes him even better. So I think it's a great team, Peter. I hope you run it, and I can't wait to hear how you do with it.
Then we have Kenneth Enterline. Am I understanding the part about one figure from Modern if it exceeds 200 points? So I could play the super rare Dark Side from Masters of Time or a full Starro.
Oh, you got it, bud.
Yes.
Bring out Dark Side. Let him run wild.
And then Daryl Wooten Jr. asks, why is Aaron's beard so damn sexy?
He doesn't restrict it.
It's what?
I said the best beard in HeroClix.
I think that's a common vote, actually.
Yeah, I don't think anyone comes close.
I mean, who would be the runner-up, though, I guess is the question. Because everybody's
Jeff
playing
Bullard?
for second. Yeah, they're just playing for
Jeff
second,
Bullard
though.
would be the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised the competition might just not be there either.
No, there's what's his name? Not Matt Reed. It's oh, he's gonna be mad at me. I forget his name.
Beardsy.
He plays with Lucas all the time. He's not a Phoenix Nest guy that I know of, but
Oh, Ethan.
he's got a really good. Yeah, Ethan's got a good beard. He always gives me crap. He's like, one day I'm gonna catch you, and I was like, no, you're not. Keep trying.
Is there any
Yeah,
beard growing
day that he
tips?
catches you is the day that you actually try. So,
Yeah, is there any beard growing tips you'd like to share with us, Uncle Aaron?
Do you have a full regime every morning?
I should, but I don't actually. So I use ethnic hair care products actually because I have to buy so much because my hair is thick in general. So the oils and like the proper shampoo and conditioners for it are a big deal. Other than that, just use the right brushes because if you're using a regular brush, you're probably ripping out more than you're actually combing.
Well, everyone
use
got
a
beard tips today also.
Yeah.
Did you have something
so is it Shea Moisture or Everyman? Is that the brand? Your beard oil.
And I didn't hear the name. I heard it was the beard oil, but what was the name?
Well, it says the best one's Shea Moisture with Everyman Jack.
No, that's trash. Hold on.
Well, there goes
This is best
sponsorships.
product reviews, but this they have them at.
Hold on.
The internet says.
I'm pulling it up.
All
Oh,
right.
please.
So I got a question. Who's your favorite bearded HeroClix piece to play?
Bearded clicks piece?
Oh, yeah.
Odin. Fear itself, Odin.
Wait, the LE, right? You're talking like that 10 range hypersonic, right?
Yeah, that monster.
Oh, he's glorious.
Yeah. I don't actually get to play him enough anymore. Blue Magic is the brand I use for like every other day hair care.
So go out, everybody, and buy Blue Magic and mention our podcast because we need sponsors.
There you go.
Yep.
I didn't realize this was
Exactly.
I didn't realize this was an American Gangster promotion, but I like it.
I think we now need a Beard Hunter real quick because I will always play Beard Hunter against Aaron now. That's just it has to happen.
Beard Hunter.
Yes, he's from Doom Patrol. He can't grow facial hair, and depending on if you're talking about the comics or the TV show, for instance, is he can eat someone's beard, facial hair, and then he can tell you where they are
Yeah,
and gets like
That's
superpowers.
such a terrible power.
It is.
they can't all be
Amazing.
good. Okay.
That's a stretch, though. All right, last week, my headset died and I plugged it into the PC and we lost a bunch of audio. So we are going to run back the questions that got cut off. Miles, do you want to start with that question from Anthony Barnstable that you just started to mention?
Yes, in the light of the new Magic the Gathering Commander competitiveness, I lost it. What the heck did it go? It scrolled. Ooh. What brackets would be you make for HeroClix? He says that he would have bracket 1 being the bottom tier with a team built from a starter, iconics, the equivalent of a fast forces, or maybe up to a full brick of one set for building a team. Bracket 2 would be very super casual themey teams. Does not need to be themed using HeroClix team, but there's clearly some sort of justification and commonality between the pieces. Typically very light on equipment and sideline stuff. Bracket 3, he would say is casual competitive. Likely win at a local event of 16 people or less. It could go maybe X3, X2 if it's lucky at Worlds. Bracket 4 would be hyper competitive team that reasonably should be making top cut at Worlds. And bracket 5 would say he says that it's something so degenerate it should be on the watch list. Those are his takes. So I actually reached out to Anthony, and I think the best way to do it with HeroClix is it's more complicated than just Magic. So you can't just tier list figures because certain interactions make certain figures better. And so I think the best way to do a bracket is from beginner level to expert. And for beginner level, we've already shown that pulp is not beginner level. And so I'm trying to propose that we get a new format called peasant, since we can't use the term pauper since I believe Magic owns that term or something like that. So with peasant, it's commoners. So common, uncommon only. So you remove the rares, and so that's gonna be your beginner format. Your tier 2 would then be pulp. So it's the peasant format with an added stipulation of rares now. So you're upping the challenge. 3 would be modern Highlander because peasant and pulp are already Highlander, and so now you're just implementing uh, super rares, chases, and LEs and whatever. And then 4 is going to just be modern, just plain and simple modern. And then bracket 5, which is going to be the hardest and most difficult format, and I'm sure Aaron and you guys will agree, and that's silver. You can't just jump into silver. You have to know the basics and really what to do. And I think silver definitely deserves to be bracket 5 because like that's expert level. If we're going from beginner to moderate to good, you're getting better, and then you get to expert. I think those 5 is a very great way to break down HeroClix for newer players and trying if you want to try and get events for 4 different skill levels.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good breakdown. Did anyone else want to add to that?
No, I mean, I like it. I think that would be a good way to get people, like funnel people in and have them have like a roadmap to kind of get them into like the higher levels instead of trying to jump into like modern and then you just have a bad time and then you might never want to play again. So
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea that could help get more people in for sure. And then final thought, what do you think is necessary to change about events like Champion Clix Open Regionals and Supercharged Sealed to increase attendance at local stores? So my problem with the open regionals were only 5 locations were selected, and then a 6th one was added. Then it was advertised that a super cool LE prize figure was for first and second place, and then me personally, I reserved a whole hotel for 2 nights, drove 6 hours, and then on my way there, it was announced that the prize was going to be $15 buyable in 3 weeks. So I think like 12 people that registered ended up not even attending, and the event ended up. I think it's 21 people instead of the 30 something that was originally looking like it was going to have. And Champion Clix really is my favorite event of the year. So there just needs to be more venues selected to run these, and then making a brand new winnable LE just, a limited edition thing for a little bit of time. That's really what's going to make it feel a little bit more, worth the time of going or traveling. So keep it exclusive for a few months, I think, instead of just a few weeks, and make it highly sought after. Like that Black Adam, like everyone's going to want that Black Adam. But if you can buy it in, 3 weeks for $15, it's definitely going to hurt the events. What do you guys think about the Champion Clix Open Regionals?
This is one of the questions that got cut, obviously.
It is actually. Or are you having a little bit of deja vu?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering. I think what we talked about was accessibility. So I thought one of the things that came up was the winnables should be not just like top 2, but top 8. And then keep them exclusive, right? It's okay. People have gotten access to it. They've got a chance to go win it. So at least let the people that showed up and played and won and did well have their fun with their exclusive figures for a little bit. I think also accessibility, just more accessible events. I've never made the championships click open. It's on my bucket list. So it's something that I'm going to figure out how to get to, and everything I've ever heard about it is just an incredible event. So I think it's just more accessibility to get people excited about that particular, I would call it one of the main events, right?
Yeah.
Of HeroClix.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was a good add-on. Anybody else want to add on to that?
Maybe to try and get it to the Pacific Northwest. I know that's a big ask because we were hanging by a thread, but we're slowly growing. So hopefully, maybe next series, we will be able to have a big enough gathering to be able to try and get one of them. So
Yeah, it just needs
Yeah,
more
like
locations.
trying to build.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing
Yeah.
is locations. That's all. I think really.
I've
I mean, consider winning one in Atlantis. I'm sure Aquamiles would be happy to participate in that.
yes, an Atlantis one.
I'm sure he would too, but I don't even know. I don't even know. Does he even play clicks?
I would be shocked if he didn't.
That's true. Yeah, very true.
And then Super Sealed, I've heard people like Super Sealed, or the Supercharged Sealed, but I have yet to still play in one. It's a neat concept, but I prefer getting all new stuff though. So depending on what sets are being played with, that second set that could be a little bit older might be a turnoff for me specifically. What do you guys think about the Supercharged Sealed as far as bringing people into the store to play?
It was fun. It's hard for me to travel for super sealed because if I'm gonna travel, I'd like to know that I have a decent chance instead of putting it up for random. So it's really hard for me to justify traveling to events which are just sealed, even if it is fun.
I think that was people's biggest gripe about it was like that, but otherwise I think it was pretty well received from what I remember hearing. Everybody really likes Supercharged Sealed.
I played it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a fun format. I think one of the things that needs to be looked at with all sealeds is at least offer, and I don't know how you do this, but I think people could figure it out, is offer at least a chance for somebody that's traveling and playing and buying into that, like a mulligan booster or something. Because if you just dump 3 boosters on the table and it's just all terrible, you're automatically like, well, okay. But 1 mulligan in that format, even of the older stuff, could be something to where it picks off even more.
Yeah, that'd be a nice option.
Super Sealed was awesome.
Did you get to play in it?
Not only you had to play against 3 straight, you had a team set up with Outwit and stuff. And you had to play against 3 straight Constantines.
I played and won the one in Gear Gaming in Birmingham, Alabama, actually.
Oh, you had a pretty good team, didn't you?
Yeah, he pulled pretty good from what I remember.
Compared to some of the stuff they got pulled, I didn't think that at all.
What'd you end up pulling? I thought you had a good team.
I'm opening. Hold on. I saved it. There it is. Build was Supergirl at 100 points from Masters of Time, Atlas Bear, Masters of Time, Animal Man, Red Arrow, Dead Man, Predegaton, and super rare non-prime Xanadu.
Oh yeah, that's not that crazy. How'd you end up doing? Did you place first or second, right?
I won. I beat Colossus Prime in the finals,
Oh, nice.
actually. Yeah. So see, he's beatable. I beat him with not that level of gross.
Do you have any advice
Was
though,
it a
as far
team's
as it
problem or
being?
maybe it was a pilot error?
Oh dang!
Oh no, he ran after. He got across the map with Prime Colossus and he swung on. I want to say it was Xanadu, and he missed. And then Animal Man crit hit my first attack, and it was just downhill from there.
Because Animal Man's for real.
Yeah, he was mind controlling with Dead Man to make other people like punch themselves was fun too. Because then I could mind control you, port over, and tie you up with Dead Man. Like, all right, deal with him, or he's gonna do it again.
Did you have any advice for like Supercharged Sealed getting more people into stores? Any changes or anything like that?
I do feel like not every store that did it promoted it well.
So just like
Like,
explaining
I'll
it
give,
more or
I'll
getting
give
more.
Wes. Well, no. So I'll give Wes his flowers on that one. There was videos about it. There was plenty of, hey, it's coming up, get ready. Any kind of delays or anything, he was very like upfront and communicative about. And there were other ones that got ran that I just kind of felt like, hey, we're doing it, and then that was kind of it.
Okay.
And then if you knew it was happening, like, yeah, you could show up, but they didn't really push to draw people in. And I feel like if you're gonna run any event like that, it's got to be something you're constantly talking about at least twice a week. You know, like you're not just the guys at your local events, but hey, you guys are within 2 hours of our store. Do you know we're doing this? Just heads up, heads up. You know,
Right. Yeah. That's
be
a good idea.
interactive with the community. It will help you garner more people. Like we've got people that are driving from North Carolina to play at my local at least twice a month now. They're driving an hour and change to play random stuff. Not always modern, not always silver, but like some of the other stuff we do too. So if I can pull somebody from an hour away, what's stopping you from doing the same thing at your locals for the bigger events?
Yeah, just advertising it more then.
I think that pricing it out, and if WizKids keeps turning out sets like Masters of Time, where the commons, uncommons, and rares are so good, that you sealed isn't quite as feeling as terrible when you pop some of those pieces out.
That makes it way easier
Because
to
you're not
take.
just you're not just waiting
very-
for the chaser super rare then. So
That is very true.
McConnell Lamar wants to know, how do you organize your collection, by theme, by set, or something else? For me, I'm super organized, so everything gets put into a box and then in numerical order with a label and then from what set it's from. How do you guys do your collection?
So I get mine from Walmart. I have these what they call it? They're like the plastic drawers. Totally.
That's what I use.
Yeah, and then per set I put commons in one. It's the 3 drawer carts. I do it and I stack them even higher. But one drawer I'll just have the commons in it, and then I'll have a drawer with the uncommons, drawer with the rares, and then a drawer with the chases and super rares. Depending on how much of each set I got, sometimes I might throw the rares in with the super rares and chases to condense it to 3 instead of 4.
Dan, what about you?
Yeah, but always just
My collection is very not eclectic, but it's more finite than other people's. So, I go by a theme usually, but it's growing a bit, especially with the monthly. So I might need to change that. For right now, it's pretty much like theme, and then what ends up getting played together by me the most. So like that's kind of how I do it.
All right. And Pete, are you organized at all?
I was until recently. Now it's just stuff sitting in boxes. But I typically put sets when they rotate into out of modern, unless it's a piece I play constantly. I typically put those into like card boxes, and then I organize all my cards into binders, so it's just easier for me to find. I do have equipment boxes though. That was an idea I got from Redmond, which is really helpful just to have your equipment easily accessed. So I'm not digging through like 5 boxes to find, say, like Captain Carter's shield or something ridiculous like that when I need it for a build. So that's been helpful to me.
Yeah, a separate box
But
for
I'm always
equipment was
looking.
big.
Yeah, I'm always looking for a better way of doing it because it's just the addiction has gotten real and I'm running out of space. So
Aaron, you said you got the same thing as Miles?
Yeah, currently in the middle of transitioning to a new house. So once that's done, I'll definitely like buy set, by rarities type thing. But the drawers do their work here. It's commons and uncommons, rares, super rares, and then I keep my LEs separate basically.
All right. How would you charge to, or how much would you charge to organize my collection for me? Many hands make light work. If I'm ever out in that area, I'll help you. Lately, I've just been busy. I actually still have Masters of Time scattered all over my room. I think I have like 5 cases worth that's just laying all over the place.
How many times have you had to buy a brick for Jeff?
Many times. I've only bought a brick to get Jeff once, but I think I've had to have people bring one for me 3 other times. So I do have them just sitting out now, so I always grab them. Garrett Schnathorst, his first one, as we look at the list of sets coming up and how they'll affect Modern. What are you most excited for? Hope to see in each of them. That could be figures, teams, equipment, maps, or terrain. So I'm excited for Black Panther, but I think at the same time, everything coming after it, I'm more excited for. On the top of that list, though, is Collector's Trove for equipment and Smash and Destroy for whatever it adds to terrain interactions. Miles, where are you at with what's coming out?
Yeah, I'm right there. From the more that I look at it, I think Collector's Trove is probably gonna have just as much equipment as characters, based off of the collector numbers of the super rares and chases. That's gonna be really a big game changer. Smash and Destroy. So, what I'm really worried about is that we're gonna have some interactions that weren't really thought out too properly. So, like, I can see Smash and Destroy having a lot of erratas and some interesting rules questions with some stuff. So I'm hoping I'm wrong. But every time we have a new thing like that implemented, it does throw in a monkey wrench that takes a curve to get it to work like it's supposed to.
I think there's a lot of potential there, so I'm hoping it is smooth.
Yeah. Yes.
Dan, what are you looking forward to?
I'm gonna put it simply, everything.
Equally?
I guess I don't know, kind of, because they've snuck things into each set that I'm like, oh, okay, well, I have to pay attention to this set for this and this set for that. So, because they can't make a good Thor set, they've sprinkled it into like the next 4 sets. So I'm just like, all right, you have my attention for at least that much. What else is there?
Well, you already gave an age, so when you're 60, that's when you're gonna get a new Thor. You should have said like when you're 34 or 33.
At the rate they make a good Thor, it's gonna be 60. It's not gonna be 34.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yes.
Pete, what are you looking forward to?
I love new sets. There's always something fun. I like Black Panther a lot, so I'm excited for that. And I love the Porter videos, so this is a really exciting week. during the yearly budget meeting here at the Pete household. Collector's Trove came up as things that we will be budgeting in around Christmas time. The kids don't know it yet, but they're getting all Collector's Trove for Christmas presents. So it'll
That's
be
perfect.
fine.
I might have to do that
that's
too. I
what I'm
like
doing.
that.
Yeah.
Aaron, what are you looking forward to the most?
Collector's Trove right now. There's a lot that is going to be really playable in that. Black Panther does look fun, but I want to see more of what's coming. I feel like just sculpt previews alone, Collector's Trove has kind of got my eye. Black Panther usually always has one or two figures, like when he's in a set, that I'm like, this is really good, I want to play it. So I'm hoping it lands that same point again.
Yeah, I'm still really interested in it.
I mean, they do have the Loki on the throne. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I know that's a chase, probably.
If I can just talk about jungle action, I'll be a happy man.
Who is
So,
this?
So
I have a theory about Lady Loki. I want to see if I'm end up being right. I think her deity thing is going to be for mind control.
Ooh.
Everybody so far has been tied to stuff you would expect them to give deity boosts out for.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping Lady Loki ends up on the sideline for me. But
once a game, they do their printed damage instead.
Actually, no. I want her to do something with shape change. That's what I want.
Shape change wouldn't be a bad play either. I would really like that in silver for the first appearance Loki, but we'll see. Like, I really do think it's gonna be mind control.
Yeah,
just based on what's in the set.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, I think the mind control thing makes sense. There's just not enough to be like, hey, this shape change thing and what the 16 figures we've seen or whatever number we've seen so far, that there's not a lot of shape change in this set.
I could see it being mind control, though. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the accidental sneak peek of Deceased Black Adam? I thought that was kind of unfortunate. We saw that it was supposed to be a surprise LE for the prize of the next Champion Clix Open events in January. So it kind of sucks for them that it got leaked early. What do you guys, anything to add to that?
No, that's just, it just took away from Champion Clix.
Yeah, it was unfortunate and a very sad way that it had to happen.
Yeah.
What happens now? Does he see Catwoman's card and has to send that in, or does he get a Black Adam? Yeah. I got the first one. You can't play it anywhere. Damn it.
I love the piece, but yeah, I mean, I don't really blame the person for sharing it. I get, but they didn't know it was going to be a sneak peek reveal for Champion Clix, but
it just kind of took their thunder away a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it sucks for Champions Clix that it got spoiled that way, but I think the piece is very cool, so I'm excited to eventually play it.
What are some legacy figures you'd like to see pop up in Black Panther or Collector's Trove? Fortunately, all the stuff that I really want to be seen made into legacies for Black Panther are mostly chases. The Empire Ghost Panther, ABPI BC Panther, Earth X Venom Black Panther, the Secret Wars Battle World Black Panther with the gauntlets, ADW and Civil War both had pretty cool sculpts too of like Panther in a tree. And then there's the CAAV Rare and Rare Prime. They had the cool vibranium weapons. That would be perfect for this set. Then there's the ADW Super Rare Black Panther 2 just sitting on a chair. And then the Ellie Storm from 2019 was really cool too. I know that was a lot. Do you guys have any others that I didn't list?
Yeah, I want the first rookie Black Panther. He was a staple of the meta when he first came out, and I would like to see them actually like have him work the way that he should with 10 range outwit and give him traded super senses and make him like, I don't know, he was 27 points, just make him 15 points because his stats are garbage. You're just using him for the outwit and the super senses.
Sounds terrible.
10 range outwit for 15 points sounds great.
You covered mine, but I would love to see T'Challa, which is the ADW one, come back into prominence, just spitting out Wakandan warriors left and right or something. And then, seriously, WizKids, it's your friend Pete. Let's just make Gauntlet Panther happen as a legacy card, okay? Thank you.
Oh, Manifold too. That's another good one. He could come back.
Yeah, give him a
I'd be
legacy
fine with
one.
that. Yeah.
Dan, did you have any other ones?
If you did not mention Shuri Panther, I know she's a chase, but she was a neat figure, and I don't think she like got much play. So I was like, that'd be cool to see her retooled a bit. But
Which one? Because I think one of the ones of her in a tree. I forget if that was the
Yeah.
ADW or the Civil War. That's the one you're talking about.
yeah, I think that's the ADW one, if I'm not mistaken, because it's the chase.
Okay.
I'd actually like to see them do that sculpt, but not the chase. I'd
Well,
like to
yeah.
see them do the Queen Shuri from the LE Queen Shuri.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool too. I guess,
LE
or
Shuri.
even if even they just reuse
Panther.
the sculpt of the Shuri
Yeah.
sculpt from the chase as a figure would be cool.
Was she just known as Black Panther then? I think.
I think so.
Yes. I'd like to see for Collector's Trove, I'd like to see equipment in Legacy.
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's
Legacy
time
at
to
all of it.
Just to take the band-aid
have
off and
it.
let's just have it happen. Like Mjolnir, for example. Just saying.
No,
They've already said Mjolnir is going to be in this set, so
I'll take an old
Probably a new one.
old LE too. Or Legacy.
yeah, the Black Panther from the Ancient Incarnation one, is that the 10,000 BC one?
yeah, he's the 1
That's-
million BC. Yeah,
1 million. Yeah, that's the one that I would really like to see come back for Legacy.
Yeah, his values were pretty good. I think he just kind of missed the mark on when he could have seen a little bit more play.
I mean, in silver he is the silver bullet to your APOC Genesis. Opposing characters within 3 squares can't use blades, claws, fangs. So
Pete had to deal with that during the Clix Mania event.
He's too
Yeah,
expensive
he's
for
a good piece.
he's too expensive for Butterfly though, right? Isn't he like 75?
I think he's 90.
he's 85. Yeah,
Yeah, he's pretty
85,
expensive.
he's
But
70.
But he's good. I mean, you can't even pulse wave the guy, so that's pretty good.
Oh, and then also the I think I've talked about it before, but the Cosmic Ghost Rider for Collector's Trove, the LE, that's one that I want to see on the motorcycle. Aaron, do you have anything from Black Panther Collector's Trove legacies you'd like to see?
Black Panther 29B from Black Panther Illuminati, the Prime. It was
Great
one of
piece.
my favorites,
Well, the-
especially being able to shut down Unimind's Perplex when I played him all the time. So that was nice.
Was that the uncommon or prime?
yeah, that was the uncommon
Yeah,
prime.
uncommon
Okay.
Prime. Basically, you because pushing, I could get him to click 2 and just keep him there, and then I ignore everything mind control with the Liar Ring. Yay, 90 points. No, he was a lot of fun for me. It would be cool to see him come back. Collector's Trove. I would say it would be wild to not get the same set collector that can be equipped with everything as a legacy card. And if we're going Trove and collectors collecting the strongest of everybody, I would like to see World Breaker Hulk, either the ADW Chase or the older one, be a legacy card.
That'd be a cool addition.
Disney Plus Collector is another one that I love that I would not be upset about a legacy card for.
I don't think that that would be a cool one, but I don't think Disney Plus has either gotten them or been legacied before, right?
No,
None of the MCU has.
I'm assuming it's the licensing.
Right, yeah, I would assume so. Also, a little sad that for a group high on Assassins, no one mentioned the Slop Gorgon as a piece that could have had potential or missed out on. His top dial was a bit heavy, but damn, did I try to make that 45 plus Sword Bearer work. I liked Warlock and Pog Your Pog. Mentioned Garbage, Solemn, but not Gorgon. Crazy. I think really, unfortunately, it's just another piece that's a casualty of having 50 points of porters that need to be on every team when that was the case. But even paying 50 points for him and getting 2 swords just isn't enough. There's too many good assassins, and I've seen how crazy good they are when you pay the points for the non-prime Raz. So it's just, I really wanted to even get Maverick to work on my team, but every piece just kind of has to do so much to make up for how little Raz does. I just don't think that he puts in work for his points.
I mean, the other thing was he was much more popular when you could swap and do like the X-Men shenanigans. Like, Assassin wasn't even on the radar when this guy came out, right?
Right.
And his big he could be equipped with 2 swords, and then swap him out, drop 2 swords so that other people could be equipped. It's not bad for 50 points to have 2 swords, but I don't know if they make up the gap of like what he's missing for that, and for especially with what you need on Assassin.
I love this question. I hope somebody one day cares as much about me as he does about the Slop Gorgon and try to make it work. So, just for the record, the Slop Gorgon was fine. He didn't come up. It's not a piece I would look at because I don't. If I'm depending on rollouts defensively, that piece is pretty much dead. Is how I consider it. So I generally choose damage reducers, and I don't think I was talking about the Slop Solemn. I think I was talking about the main set one, which had a bunch of different point lines. So I would always go towards a reducer and not a rollout personally. So that's kind of where that conversation went.
Yeah, and Gorgon is just he's a close combat piece, and I mean, what are you gonna replace? You've already seen the optimized assassin builds win events, and like there's nothing like, man, this could have been so much better with the Gorgon. That's
Well,
why you don't see Wolverine pool on the teams either, is because you just have other pieces that fill the void and do more for the team than those two
and,
pieces.
and Assassin's really taken off more recently. Like you almost have to have Prime Talon. So
Oh, you
Yeah,
have to,
and it's a
absolutely.
range team.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that was part of it too.
Aaron, do you have any strong feelings on Slop Gorgon?
Who? No. I have
Yep, that
zero
sums it
feelings
up.
about Gordon.
So his best trick is he can kind of hand out 2 swords and then swap to your sideline. So sorry, he's not going to make the list, Garrett. And then we have Paul Cote. How do you use Flash Raptor? How do you deal the damage, and who do you transport? I think Miles,
I
did
only
you have
use
a
Flash Raptor by saying bro every time I use it. That's the only way to use it.
It's
And
required.
I think if you can get 6 of them on a team together, you're really giving somebody the business, bro.
I think he's just 50 points of good. You don't really have to necessarily like hit that whole like transport, pop somebody over is kind of fluff. It's not like necessarily what you need to do, but I know I've heard of a couple builds where you can take advantage of it. Um, but uh, I mean, precision strike and quake is all I can say for that. It's really good. You should try it.
Yeah. So what you really want to do with him, yeah, is like that is if you TK someone with Desper on the build and you use Flash Raptor, you're gonna be able to get it all the way across the map. And if as long as they have the animal keyword or time stealers, you're able to after you make your attack with your Flash Raptor, you can get another attack in with the person he places, as well as then mind control since you have 2 animals or time stealers adjacent to an opponent. I would almost want to say that if you're gonna go that route, Wally West, Caveman Wally might be your best option, just because you're shutting down super senses, and you also have a prob, and you get a chance at 3 attacks. So
Definitely would have to
he has
flex
the
up.
exact same stats from click 1 to click 2, so you're not too worried about him taking that unavoidable. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I think I just want to make sure I perplex up his attack a little bit before I go over, at least just a
well,
little
if
bit.
he's main force, you're gonna be giving him the Bucky's arm. I feel
Oh
like.
yeah, season 11. Okay.
Yeah. So he'll be an 11 for 4 with prob, and then you're going to have 3 chances within 11. So,
No, I like
yeah,
it.
that's
At
That's what I do.
at this weekend event, Ryan Harris was playing him with that Kate Bishop that lets you attack through a square that he moved through, and that was pretty efficient because he's usually hitting his willpower. So he wasn't able to make the hypersonic and carry, obviously, but it was pretty strong being able to go a decent amount of distance and then park back to other pieces with like enhancement, and then he was using the trick arrows off her. So it was a really good trick. He actually had me until I think like last action, and I was able to kill one last piece right at the end. I forget who it was, but it was a really good combo, even with just using him at 50 points to be the taxi of her.
Yeah.
What
Did
are
you
some
say
of the-
good try, bro?
I did not because I was down for a good half of the game. It was close and low, and then he had me for a bit.
Almost had me, bro.
What are some of the easier ways to do damage though? Was it just take out elevated?
Hackathon.
Yep, elevated and then TK with Despero on the build.
Yeah,
It's one of those things too that like I know that it doesn't seem like a problem now, but from a game playing standpoint and from a game design, even though I don't design these figures, whenever I like try and make legacy cards just for fun, it's something that probably should be addressed about says choose the friendly character that he moved through that took damage from an opposing effect since your last turn.
Yeah.
It all depends on on what comes down the pipeline. Right now, there's really not too big of an issue, but like there's always a chance for those types of shenanigans based off of
Wait,
figures and interactions. So
Does
it's
it
something that
say?
needs
Does it actually
looked
say
at.
opposing effects? Or is it-
No, no,
or
no,
is
no.
that-
I'm saying
okay,
that it
that's
might
that's
need
what I thought.
errata depending on what's coming down the pipeline and everything for a game balancing standpoint. I know everyone hates erratas and they hate bans, but when you're playing a competitive game that's ever evolving, it's just something that it's something that needs to happen for the health of the game.
Exactly.
So
Agreed. Aaron, do you have an opinion on Flash Raptor? Are you high on him?
Bro, no, I like him. He's obviously good at any level. I just don't want to pay his price tag right now.
Yeah.
I'm really close to finishing the Jurassic League, and it's him and Miles has a Aqua. No, it's not you. Somebody else has an Aquanix for me. And it's like I want to finish it, but I can wait
What
because
about
it'll eventually go down and he doesn't get played.
right? What about 250 as your one-man army in silver?
Maybe. Let me look
I
real
think him and
fast.
Faust is a real good start for a 400-point team.
Looks like a pretty solid dial for 250.
Yeah, he's not bad. Defense power. So I worry
About the outwit.
about. Yeah, I mean, outwit's real rough on him, like real rough.
No, that's
The
why I
fact
said
that-
Faust.
Yeah, that's why you
Yeah, I
play
think
Faust.
Faust.
I know, but like
Ace.
let's talk
Doesn't Ace
Starro,
turn it off?
and-
Yeah, you can do Ace too.
Ace would stop outwit, but things like poison, the star fights, Dylan Pint, the damage, like I just have to like take you away. I don't know. He's got really good stats, but I worry that he doesn't have enough defense mechanisms in the current meta.
Okay.
Now there is a figure that can give him powers. Just throw him with Starbrand. Starbrand gives him +1 to his stats and can give him invulnerability. Or you can give him invincible via the Stones of Merlin. I know it's 85 points, but if you're gonna go Flash Raptor, you got to go all in on it.
It would be cool to see it happen, but I'm worried that he's not enough.
All right, well I'll try it. I'll try to get my hands on a Flash Raptor and I'll give it a go November 30th.
Yeah.
Make him a
Flash
dolphin.
Raptor.
He needs to be a dolphin too, so get the Batmans on there.
Can we put a motorcycle on him?
Actually, no, because that's all my modern points. I can't use any more
Oh,
modern
that's right.
points,
So
so
Ace,
I'm gonna have to use
Ace doesn't work either. Yeah.
Nope.
I'm so bummed,
So
bro.
so it's gonna be Faust, Ducky Deadpool, and Starbrand. I don't even know if that's the right points.
And
House
a-
is 30.
close
Dr.
if it's
Deadpool
not.
is what, 40, I think, and Starbrand is 75. I think you're close. I
There's
don't
points
know.
there, yeah. And then then 30, 75, plus 5 points. So yeah,
It's
I'll
a,
have 5 points for something.
it's a thing you can do.
It is. It's a thing I'm going to do.
Oh,
So
Edward K, just a quick note of thank you and keep up the great work. Just retired and hoping to travel and meet many of my HeroClix friends face to face. That's awesome, Edward. Congrats on your retirement. I hope to see you at an event soon. We'll be at a lot of them, so let us know which ones you're going to.
Oh yeah, looking forward to
yeah,
seeing
he's
you,
out in
man.
Washington, so maybe I'll see him at Washington State. So yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Edward, thanks for the kind words and congrats on the retirement. And I hope that in your retirement you get to travel and play the game you love.
That's all you can hope for.
And then the last one is Ryan Bookwood. I didn't have a question and just wanted to say hi and give Redmond a hard time because I know he loves when I post last second questions. But as I'm typing this, I actually have one. I faced the giant Necron and the battery for Black Lanterns for the first time. Can you go over how it actually works and if you think there might be similar shenanigans in the upcoming Lantern set? Harris explained it to me and so did Jeremy, but I was in shock of what was happening. So I still don't understand batteries. So I was just happy that he got destroyed by something. So that part was good. Dan, we did run out of time last time, but do you want to tell us about the batteries this time?
Yes, I can talk about the batteries. So the batteries, they are actually like on your force. They cost 2 points plus the combined cost of the assigned power ring and constructs, and must total a minimum of 16 points. The power ring and constructs are all attached to the power battery at the beginning of the game. And then the other portion of it is core members. When a friendly character has any constructs on its card, it is called a core member and is assigned the power battery. Friendly core members can use the ability of the constructs on its card and the ability of the power ring attached to the power battery. If a friendly core member is KO'd, any constructs on its card are reattached to the power battery. If the power battery is KO'd, all constructs are removed from friendly core members' cards. Um, the so the setup is the power battery is placed in 4 squares of clear terrain in your starting area. The power battery affects line of fire and can use its powers and abilities. Is damaged and KO'd as if it were a character. Characters, objects, and blocking terrain may not occupy the same squares as the battery, and the power battery is immediately KO when the last friendly character is defeated. Attacking the battery is a little different than normal, so instead of like a generic attack, it's if the power battery is adjacent to an opposing character or is within its range and line of fire, that character may be given a power action to roll 2d6 and add their attack value if the result is higher than is equal to or higher than the power battery's defense. It takes damage equal to the opposing character's printed damage value -2, and this can't be ignored. And then there's a couple other things. So there's a few more than a couple things, but the battery has a bunch of powers on dial. So it's because it's a giant support piece. It has generally like the black one has a barrier on a bunch of clicks, and then rotates between a special damage, perplex, outwit, or prob. Those it can use once per turn when it is given an action to use one of these powers and actions resolve. You may roll a d6 that can't be rerolled. You deal the power battery half the result as unavoidable damage. So that's how you turn the battery, because you do want to turn up the battery to get access to more of its special powers and things. And then so the battery's range is also equal to its click number. So the higher its click number, the bigger its range. So towards the end, when you get to like click 19, you have a 19 range. So then another big thing is the emotional spectrum. If the power battery, attached power ring, and constructs are all the same color, when a friendly core member uses steal energy, this is for the black one, it changes like per battery. As a result of damaging a higher pointed character with an attack, increase the healing by 1. So, and then you can use all the constructs, and there's a couple different mechanics you can do with them. You can swap them, you can form a construct, you can share a construct. And these all ramp up based on like how far down the dial the battery is. So the more powerful effects are further down. And there's a lot to the batteries. The batteries are incredibly powerful. So they're not to be trifled with, especially when they were playing them with the full suite of Black Lanterns. So That's generally the like rules of the battery.
So
and
that,
like I said, they vary. They vary between core. So like the Black Lantern one I was talking about specifically deals with like a lot of steel energy stuff or healing. But the green one deals with like willpower and stuff like that. I think it even has like some kind of pseudo outward protection. There's a bunch of different stuff that they all do.
so that both sounds terrible, and I still don't understand it. So if you ever play me and you have a
I'm right
battery
there
on your
with you.
team, then you can tell me it does whatever it does, and I'll believe you.
The easiest way to think about it is the battery is a giant support piece that also, the longer the game goes, makes your figures better. Like it just that's how it works. Like one of the constructs is a sniper rifle. It grants you 10 range. Another one is a nurse, I think, that just grants you support. So the battery just hands out both powers and different modifiers, as well as just being a giant support piece. That's basically how it works.
I don't get it.
Okay, cool.
Did Bookwood seriously make the questions twice?
No, remember, this was all the stuff that got cut off from the last week. So some of it
Oh.
might be a little dated. I don't remember.
I just was impressed by the tryhardness of making the questions twice.
And,
all.
I would say this is the exact reason the batteries are banned in the monthly, because these things are like
I don't want to
played
learn them.
before.
I don't want to learn them.
They're also just disgusting. Resources are just nasty.
I mean, I'd never seen the figure until I saw it that Monday night, and I immediately bought some off of eBay for Dalton and I. So it's just a wildly cool sculpt. If HeroClix wants to go back to pricing like that looks that awesome, I am here for it.
Yeah, he looks real cool. All right, that wraps up the questions, though. Any final thoughts, Miles?
I guess I'm gonna have to go bro for states. So let's see.
All right. Dan?
I really Blue Beetle. I'll have to give this a try some more. I don't know. That was fun on Sunday.
Yeah, you had a good. It was a bad run of luck for you, and a lot of good luck for me, and then a couple of bad decisions on your part. But it was a good team.
That's what happens when you don't ever practice against a certain team, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
Pete, any final thoughts from you?
Nope. Thanks for Aaron for coming on and making this episode infinitely more listenable too than it is normally. So we appreciate you.
Aaron, do you have any final thoughts?
Thank you for not plugging your headset in.
Well, let's just hope that all the audio made it to the recording this time.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me on. It's always a blast to be on, and nice to have a place to actually discuss, the stuff going on with Silver Age, and if people be able to reach out and give feedback. So, thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm really excited how states are gonna go. Like, I'm just excited to see what people play, and I want to like get out and at least play in one Silver States, at least just to get my feet wet.
I'm just excited to start building Silver again.
Yep.
So then it kind of feels.
HC is up to date, so we can all just go for it now.
I think it took Clay 34 minutes to update.
He was still tweaking some stuff as of today, but yeah, the majority of it's done.
Yeah, it should be pretty much updated, I think, for the most part. He's lightning fast with that stuff. But it is exciting to kind of see some events starting back up. It kind of feels like we've been in a lull after Worlds, so I just want to start building again. But if that's all from you guys, Aaron, again, thanks for joining us. And thanks for listening, and see you next time.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya!
Click it!